Hello, I think we're live. I've been sitting here for a couple of minutes, and then I saw the time, and I was like, oh, I'm a couple of minutes late. I guess we're ready. Alright, so, just for word of warning, I've done no prep. I just got back from a flight. I've been here for maybe 30 minutes, or just slightly longer than that. So, I wanted to make sure I got the stream in. I didn't miss the day. But as mentioned last week, there was a chance that I could have missed the stream. But it's just, wanted to point out that, I haven't had time to really look over anything. But I thought it was kind of okay. Considering last time we streamed, we were kind of almost finished with the factory. So hopefully we have enough time, just with about 3 hours or so, to just finish this one off. It's the fused frame and heavy modular frame. We've had a comment on the stream from before that mentioned there might be something wrong with the numbers. So we'll have to look into that. But it's cool that I'm a little later than, well, you know, later in the day than normal. Which we knew we would be. So it's nice to be able to catch some people in different time zones, like you mentioned. Hello. Alright, so, before we get started, go over what is currently done. Turn down the volume for me. If I turn this down, does it go down for you? No. Oh, right. I thought you heard the same volume I do. That's good to know. I feel like sometimes I'm shouting over myself, because it can be a bit loud. 1 p.m. for me? Nice. It's, yeah, I don't know my watch, actually. It's like, I don't know, 6:30 or 7? Something like that? 7:15. Alrighty. Here we are then. I can basically remember what was going on. So we have the heavy modular frame factory. I have the melee note document, so we can kind of go follow it. I'm just going to go quickly back. I won't spend too long, because some people just watch the VODs, and if that's the case, you'll know a lot of this stuff already. You know, people roll from one VOD into the next. Don't want to be too redundant, but I do want to get refamiliarized with the sitch. It's good to be back. Man, when you don't play... I'm so addicted to games, right? It's like you don't play games for like 2 days, and they sit back in the gamer chair, keyboard and mouse in hand, it just feels right. Feels so good. So much better than real life. Anyways. Ah, I remember. These do concrete, don't they? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And these ones do iron. Okay, I remember. And I'm pretty sure we checked over all this and it worked just fine. It's so funny in my head. See, after the stream, it's hard for me to remember what goes on here because I'm also in the other world. The single-player video world for the series. Hey, Martin, thanks very much. I'll check that in just 1 second. But yeah, my head is in 2 different places. I'm building like a gas pipe or an oil pipeline and all this stuff, so I just have to snap out of that and remember like, oh no, you're actually further. We're working on thermal propulsion rockets. We're working on heavy modular frames, so we're a bit further along. So thanks for the super chat. Appreciate that. And he says, thanks for another evening of entertainment. Well, and I just like bounce out right now. Thank you. I appreciate that though. Thanks, Martin. It's quite a lot. I've been sitting on a question and I'm curious, which would you rather do? Start a new factory or rebuild an old one? I'd rather start a new one. Almost always. Because I think there's nothing more demoralizing for me in this game than going back to something you were in previously and removing it bit by bit. It can be tedious, and it can just cause problems, like, generally speaking, like with other things that are relying on it maybe. So it's like, oh, just let me just start somewhere else and I'll build something else somewhere that makes the same thing, and then I'll get rid of the old one if I want to. Of course, excuse me, there's websites to help deal with that, you know, like Satisfactory Calculator can allow you to remove an entire factory and just create a little container with all your stuff in it. So that's a middle ground. It's like, okay, if you don't want to go by the in-game rules, maybe in future people watch this or something, might be, you know, if you're playing on console or whatever, can't really do that maybe. So if you don't want to go by the in-game rules though and use Satisfactory Calculator and just remove things, that would save a lot of the headache, I think, of rebuilding an old factory. I've noticed these things are getting a little backed up. They shouldn't be. I think it's just because we had the way we turned it on. But just to help them along, keep it Mark III. They should get out a bit quicker. I think I remember that. So this is just temporary. Alright. Let's get focused. I'll bring up the melee note document and we can have a look at things. So, we started with the extractors. They go into all these refineries. They make iron. We have rounded up these numbers. They're not clocked to these awkward numbers yet. And this is actually what the comment was about from /over. And then Cable Now responded to it. The awkward numbers actually started 2 hours into the stream. The 3.55 recurring assemblers making stitched iron plates then going backwards from there. Yeah, I had said that because of this being an awkward number, but they're right. The modular frames are actually nice and even. This is even enough. They're right in saying that, actually. It gets crazier, actually, at this point. Then what? You calculated with truncated values at several instances, so some numbers could plausibly look nicer. I revised your calculations. Major notes. Most numbers either terminate cleanly or recur. Yeah, recurring numbers are so interesting, like 74.074, 074, 074, and it just keeps doing that. Iron ingots go into wire, 100 ingots go into iron plates, water. I think this is straightforward enough to verify yourself and fill in the blanks. It's completely understandable that you missed it during a stream. I don't fault you. You wanted to do it accurately, so I don't resist you. Couldn't resist getting so far into this. Caught this too. Yeah, I don't think... Caleb says he'd hate to see things stopping and starting, but I've given myself more material. So the only things that... Oh, I suppose that would still cause stop starting. The idea was to create awesome sinks along the way, knowing that we're going to produce even more iron. But I think it's okay. It is worth pointing out. It's definitely great to see that. That's why I made sure to include it and everything. When we start turning things on, I'll go over the numbers again, the revised ones. So I might even copy and paste this part of the branch down here with the clean numbers and see what we're left over with. That might help us out a bit. Just didn't want to be clocking things down to low numbers because I was somewhat trying to get things done in a hurry. What's the hell's going on there? Oh. It was zoomed in. I didn't realize it was zoomed in this whole time. Anyways, good evening. Hey, Noah. By the way, I've got a little cider with me. So I'm only going to get more forgetful and less accurate as time goes on. Hey, Ryan Johnson. First time in a minute. Alright, so picking right up where we left off then in the chain. We are at the... Oh, just amazing that the noise went off. You don't hear them at all from here. Wow, interesting. Because it's so loud, even just getting slightly close to them. Those are the constructors for steel pipe. I do not believe we've done the other things yet, so this is where the brain has to come in. 1840 iron. So I believe this was handling 1840 iron. And the remnant comes off of that because... Yeah, they're 480 belts. 480 times 4. 1920. We need 1840. Maybe we'll have to track the numbers because now I can't really remember why that's going on. Oh, wait. It's, yeah, they're belts of 420. I remember that now, I think. 460? They're 20 short. That's it. Because it's 520 splitting off 60. Got it. I remember now. Got it. Hard cider always goes hard, pun intended. Ryan as well. Thank you very much, and cheers from Canada. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, man. Did you change your lift to Mark III when changing the steel pipe belts? I think so. That should have helped them get out because they were getting backed up. It's getting lower. It's getting lower already, so that means it's working. That's Mark III. That's Mark III. That's a Mark V just to help drain. Yeah, so it should work itself out. I think it was just backed up from before. Okay, anyway, that's good that I remember that. It's all good. Anyway, long story short, if you're just joining, this thing here, I remember now, it's 520 on each belt. 520, and then we use this system here for each belt. 520 goes down, we break off 60, right? It's a standard splitter with a Mark I splitter on top, and then 60 should come off. And then it goes into mergers. I'm a bit curious looking at that. I'm just going to make it like this, because that would just be 60. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure there was no gaps. It's always a good little test. This would be then ideally 120, and then so on and so forth. I'm just doing that purely just as kind of as an efficiency checker. If we don't see any gaps, then we know it's okay, unless it's getting backed up, but it shouldn't be. Anyways, right, so that's fine. Temporarily, they're just going into here. So this is our next phase. We're currently in the construction phase of our heavy modular frame part of the factory, and once we do the heavy frames, it'll be very easy to do the fused ones by just mixing in some gas and aluminum. I say very easy. We'll have to find a way to bring it over. I think I'd said that a train line would be good, just to mainline a single track train, bringing all the casing over. It's almost an exact straight line over from here. Straight west or east. All right. Just spent a few hours trying to convert some excess turbo fuel into packaged rocket fuel for personal use. Clearly underestimated how much work even just 50 per minute is. Now I've realized that I don't even have the nitric and phase thing completed yet. Handcrafting fused modular frames now. Yeah, nice. Been there. Cider, plus 10 charisma, negative 10 efficiency. That's funny. It do be like that. Alright, so this should be easy enough, I think. Let's just have a look at how many machines we need. So 6 constructors and 4 constructors for iron. 6 for wire, sorry, and 4 for iron. So 10 in total. And they're both just taking in iron. Right, so all of our excess iron is on one line. This will be the line coming straight along here. Gotcha. Yeah, just for anyone who's just joined, just in case people are wondering, I just came back from Ireland. I was away for 2 days for legal matters. To do with purchasing an apartment in England. That's just to do some stuff in Ireland, basically. I'm a pretty influential businessman. Got lots of things, lots of plates spinning in multiple countries, you know. But no, I just had to get some stuff done and signed off by my parents as well, actually. And that's all done and dusted now. But I literally just got back like an hour. You know, I got off the flight at 5:15. It's 7:15, or just 7:30 now. So I was only in the house for a little while, and I didn't want to miss the stream. So I just wanted to catch people up on why I'm a little, maybe not prepared, even more than usual. But this should be fine. We're mid-factory last stream anyway. I didn't want to miss a day. Wednesdays, Thursdays, that's when the streams are. So tomorrow there should be one too. All right. I'm just wondering, should I do a blueprint, and how are we going to segment what's been left over here? 6, 12, 18, 24. It's 240 on that belt is what we have. Shouldn't be drinking cider. It's making me burp. 240. Actually, before I even calculate that. So that's 74 plus 99. So we only need 173. I'm making a lot more iron than I actually need then. We'll round these numbers up. I know that it's 240. Now maybe we'll make more plates or wire and do something with it later. I don't know. Or even just try to make... Yeah, actually, let's see. That's so hard to do it between 2 different machines. I was going to say, let's just make an even amount of both. I'm just going to grab a constructor just real quick. 12.5 in. Get the old pen and paper out. Just finished watching the latest VOD this morning. Nice. Immediate continuation then. I see you were live and joined. I'm a simple man. Hey, thank you. Always vote for the train. Yeah, we don't really have many trains in this world, so I'll probably do that. But it's a boring train. It'll be a single track, simple train line. Right, so 12.5 in gives us 22.5 out. That's just wire. Just trying to make use of some of the extra iron ingots that we have right now. Okay, so that's totally fine. The next one then is the... Well, we already did the steel pipe. What's the other one? Just iron plate. Oh yeah, so that's the standard recipe. 30 in, 20 out. Okay, cool. And we have 240 iron. I know that I should do at least 6 constructors, so 6 times 12. 12.5. So, in total, we're going to use at least 75 out. Okay. And then 4 times 20, or 4 times 30, I should say. We need 120... Oh, sorry, I'm just after making a big mistake already. I'm being dumb. 6 machines consuming 12.5 means they consume 75. Sorry, they consume 75 iron. And they put out 22.5, so it'll be 135 out. Cool, so it's more than we need. It's great. We need 133. That's the number I'm looking at. So the next one. So I'm just going to then see how much wire we've got, or iron we have left over when we round up the numbers even just this little bit. So instead of sending in 99.84375, we're just going to do a clean 4 constructors. They're taking in 30. That's 120. And 4 times 20 is 80. And they're putting out 80. So that's 120 plus 75. That's how much iron we will be consuming then. And we're left over with 45. 45. We could do 1 extra iron plate constructor. Yeah. Nice work, thanks. I wanted to ask if anyone has noticed a bug that blocks the production when flying near machines with the hover pack, or if there are grammatical errors. I don't know if you might be the second person to mention that one to me. I've never seen it, but someone has told me that before, unless it was just you twice, that using a hover pack flying next to refineries, they said that the efficiency of the machines goes down. I haven't seen it. I haven't really been checking for it, but I haven't noticed it. So yeah, I don't know if anyone else has. But feel free to perk up if you have. Anyway, the 45 iron, maybe I'll just sink it just to make life a little easier for now. And just know that we have 45 iron extra. It's going somewhere. Although yeah, actually we're going to have more of everything, aren't we? It's the trouble with not using exact numbers. I don't necessarily want an awesome sink for every chain, or I guess you could just sushi belt it all together. That's what this person was mentioning. Okay, well anyway, I still know what we need. We still just need 6 machines and 4 machines, and then I'll find something to do with the remaining iron ingots later. I mean, I guess the other thing I could look to see is what am I lowest on? So iron plate, I've got 180 plate per minute in the world, and I've 100 wire in the world. Like, I guess I could try to turn even more of it into wire. We have less of that. Does 12.5 divide into 45 the other way? It'd be a 3.6 additional machines. That'd be 6, 7, 8, 9.6 machines. Okay, let's just do that, and that will use up all the iron. 9.6 machines. 9.6 machines. Times their output. Alright. 9 times 22.5. We'll be making 202 wire. Put in a little note on that one. I'll check what it needs in a second, but we're going to do 202.5 instead. And here, we're just going to do a clean 80. So we'll have too much iron plates and we'll have too much wire, but we should consume all the iron then. So this is going to take in 120 iron. And this will take in 12.5 times 9, 112.5. That doesn't add up. Oh god, my mind. This should add up to 240. Why doesn't it? Oh, 9.6, that's why. Got it. Okay, cool. So now they take in the same amount. That makes life very easy. It's just one splitter. Totally nailed it. Alright, so that's 9.6 constructors, that's 4. And that'll divide up our iron evenly. It doesn't give us an even output, but it's good enough. Alright, sorry about all that. I know it makes no sense or whatever, unless you're deep into the numbers like me right now. But all that we need to know is we just have additional constructors to build. Actually, I'll just show it one more time on screen just very quickly. This is what the plan was originally. So we needed 6 constructors, but one of them clocked to 92%, or the equivalent for all of them. And the same kind of here for the iron. Instead, what we're going to do is just simply 4 constructors and 9.6 constructors, so 9. So we're almost doubling the amount we have for the wire. And it's all coming off of this one line, so they'll just split now evenly. That's 240 per minute on that belt, so one splitter. Top row can be the wire machines, bottom row could be the iron, or vice versa, and that'll be handled for us. So we'll just make a blueprint for it now. So that's how we do it. Hey, Michael, and thanks, Bowers. Why am I not using Excel? Ah, just effort. I used to use Excel, actually, back in the day. The main reason, actually, is for using Milanote is because it looks nicer for people to watch. That was the main reason for using that. I had a big Excel document in my Update 7 series, and I showed it on screen a few times, and I used Excel in Anno as well. And I had, like, a little block as a machine. It had its input. It's clock speed, it's output, and then you could just layer them. But anyway, so I guess I've gone backwards in some ways just to make it a bit more presentable. I guess I'll just do this. Fill that gap. So that's 5 meters. Good to know. Alright, so we're going to be getting rid of that in a moo. And I'll need to do... These were blueprinted anyway. I could just use these if they have the right direction. Going in from this side and going out to the right. Yep, that's kind of what we want. Just trying to think though. We need to split tops and bottom. 10 machines really. It's 9.6, so we need 10 machines. This is 10 machines, so this could be the wire. Yeah. Probably won't be the most elegant looking thing, but I don't really mind. I'll just set all those in a minute. Then there'll be a line going like this way into the second group, but they don't need a top layer at all. They just need a group on the bottom. They could come way back. I suppose maybe give ourselves... Yep. Something like that would probably work. I suppose if you wanted to make it even in line, push this down. The awesome sink is in the way. Good job, Darren. Okay. Alright. Begin. So we're finishing off the construction by just building a couple extra machines, basically. Get you connected. Oh, this is a weird one because we don't need the top layer at all. I'm just going to delete it. Alright. Hey, Nicola Maritzik. Sorry if I said that wrong. I no doubt did. Number management... Sorry about this, Mendicant. I didn't see your message. Number management is pretty much in the belts, right? Having some type of system where you can manage numbers, like a splitter that could do quantities, would be nice, in my opinion. A lot of people do ask for that, and I'm sure they know that. They must know that. I'm sure it's upvoted on their, like, suggestion website. I think they make a conscious decision not to do that because things would become a lot easier for the player. And there's a fine balance, I suppose, in their minds between making things too easy and not. And that's why they made the blueprint designer just 4 tiles. They were like, well, we could make it 10, but we want you to have to think about how you organize builds. And I think when it comes to logistics, if you could just set the rate that goes on a belt, it would sort of eliminate... Well, it wouldn't eliminate belt speeds, I guess, because you still want faster speeds, but it would make splitting and all the kind of the thinking that goes into getting stuff where you need it in the right amount, it would make it so easy it'd almost be trivial. I'd like it, but as a game designer, I'm like, yeah, I can see why they'd be hesitant and not know if that's the right move, even if it's towards the end of the game. Certainly, there must be a mod or something that could do it, maybe. It'd be interesting just to see, like, with a mod, like, how do I play the game with this? Is it better? When it came to blueprints, I was always of the mind that a 5x5 is what they should have gone with. Because 4x4s couldn't fit certain machines in it. I was like, it's just too limiting. But yeah, a rate limiter on belts, I would actually be hesitant as to should they do that or not. But it does seem strange to maybe knowingly impede players when they have the answer in their mind. They just can't manually get it built quick enough. You know, so I do get it. But anyway, I don't know. It's just my thought. They're so feedback orientated that it makes me think like they must know this. But yeah. Anyway, so we need 9.6 machines. 9.6 divided by 10, because we have 10 machines. So it's obviously 9.90. Yeah, 96. So these have to be set to 96. Just copy that, paste it all the way down. Didn't need to do it in a blueprint because I'm doing it just once here anyway, so it would have been the same. All right. Oh, you're busy. And you're busy now. Right, these are all hooked up. So we're gonna have to build a splitter off of this. Probably high up, actually. Somewhere about there. I'll remove the awesome sink and stuff in a moment. One half of this is going to go out to the right and down into there. The other half is then going to split again twice. Yeah, okay. Between the two groups. Ink here? There. Yeah. Alright, time to just let this get backed up, I guess, for a sec. So, belt of 240 going that way, splitting once. This. I'll upgrade them in a second. Go up here as well. Actually, I'll just bring that up a bit higher. This will make sense in a second. It's a weird way of doing it, not gonna lie. 1, 2, 3, 4. Damn. Right, so 240 goes in, splits twice, so let's make that. That's 120 each, that's what we want, and then this just goes 60 and 60, so that's fine. That's it. So that'll now feed these. This will all make wire, they're all at 96. We'll have to just hook up an awesome sink or something for these guys before we send them into the reinforced iron plates. So the assembly level is going to be over there. Give me one of these even just temporarily. Actually, I don't need that. I'll just send it straight out. Bum, bum, bum. Now, the amount of iron, or sorry, wire that we're making, it's 202.5, so I only need a Mark II belt on each one. Those are Mark IIs already. Great. And then these are just going to be making iron plates, and these need to go to an awesome sink also. Oh, forgot to set the recipe. Excuse me. And they're just at 100% actually. Great, alright. Anyway, I would love to watch you play Factorio. You think that? I'm not very good at it, so you probably wouldn't. But thank you. Yeah, no, I'm not very good at Factorio at all. I haven't played it though in a long time. I've become much better at Factory games since then, so maybe it'd be alright. But yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of certain... Once you start to get far enough into Factorio, I don't like their blueprint system and how robots just build entire factories for you. I just don't like that. I remember reaching that point and just being like, oh, I just like click buttons and drones come out and like just build everything for me. Like that kind of ruins it, actually. I don't know why. I seem to be the only person that feels that way. It becomes like too large scale almost. Not that I couldn't keep track of it. It just... I just didn't find enjoyment in actually building anymore at that point. One thing that I was very bad at though was brains and logistics. I was really bad, and I was really bad at keeping up with. I would always drain my resources and not have like lose before I move, because things aren't infinite in the game, right? So you've got a big patch of like 100,000 iron ore, and I'm harvesting as much as I can to get like trains, and then trains to get me to another area and to bring everything with me before that all runs out. And I was like, I don't know how to do this before, because then the pollution's getting worse and the aliens are getting harder, and it's like, oh my god. So I think it's awesome. I actually think it's the best factory game there is, but I'm just not very good at it. Thanks, Tiki Taka. One thing I would like in the game is a splitter and merger. Something that has like, or it's just a dynamic thing. You can say like, that's an input and that's an input. That's an output, that's an output. I'll just let you configure it however you want it. Because I'd like to be able to feed a splitter from 2 areas, like in this instance. So if I wanted this to be an overflow splitter, or an overflow merger, I guess would be the same thing, a smart merger. It'd be really nice if I could say like, yeah, what's going in here and what's coming in here can go that way, or it can go that way, depending on a situation. So there's lots of things like that, I guess. Alright, so they're going to take a little while to manifold up. I think I've done everything right, though, speed-wise. That should be 240 per minute. Being split. 240 divided by 2 is 120, 120. So as long as these are... That's full. Now that's... Ah! That's an issue. And that's an issue. Right, so now it's definitely okay. Not a fan of that, though. Kind of disrupts my little chain here, though, in a way, doesn't it? I'll probably just leave it. Okay, so we're at the next phase. That was pretty quick. So that's these level of constructors done. Next thing then is assemblers. So now we're on to the assemblers for encased industrial beams, the assemblers for modular frames, and for reinforced iron plate. I do want these numbers to be correct so that we get the target that we want. So we need a total of 19, 20, actually 24. We need 24 assemblers. I don't know how many I can fit in the blueprint, but if we could just... Maybe I'll just do one and just lay it out 10 times. That'd probably be the easiest. Because I'll have to join them together anyway. Forgot a belt, did I? Let's see. I'll follow the belt. Right, so 240 splits. We'll follow this line first. So that's 120. It's Mark II out of its mind. 120 goes down here and it goes into the 5 machines. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Sorry, not 2. That's 3, 6, 9, 12. Wait, 3, 6, 9, 12. Oh, we've actually got one extra constructor here that I don't need. That can go. Okay. That's okay. Well, now it is. Hey, Milad. Alright, so that's okay. The other thing, 120 going this way, 120 splits into 60 and 60, top and bottom rows, so we have 12 per minute. 12 times 5 is 60, so that's the 60 consumption. We fed all the way down, comes all the way out. This one merges into that one, and they're both just going to an awesome sync for now. There we go. Why is there a Mark II going into a Mark IV? Here? This is just built as a blueprint, so that's why. Doesn't affect anything, but yeah, that's why it was doing that. Right, my music went off, just gonna pop that back on. Okay, so first row of assemblers, we need 4 assemblers doing reinforced iron plates. 3.55 out of 4, so we need 3. Not the right thing. 3.55 out of 4, because we want to build 4 machines. They need to run it at, well, we need 3.55 of them, but we're building 4, so that gives us 0.8875. Just times that by 100. That gives us our percentage. Are you importing anything from other factories? Is this factory standalone? It's standalone for now. It will be at the very, very last stage. We're making heavy modular frames. The heavy modular frames are all here. I'll show you the whole recipe in a second. But to make the fused modular frames, we'll be bringing in gas and then aluminum casing. I guess gas is local too, but the casing will come from a different factory. Right, so stitched iron plate, clock speed, 88.75. We need 4 of them. Can I fit 4 in one designer? Do I need to? No. I'd just be building these anyway. I'll just build them manually. No point making a blueprint if you're just going to use it again. And this is taking in the wire and iron. So the wire and iron is here. So that's the wire, that's the iron. So we'll do them here. I'll probably reverse that direction so they both... Actually, don't have to. They can feed them in from 2 different directions. Alright, so it does make sense then. We'll just... So I don't have to do the logistics for each one. And I guess a power pole thing. Sorry, it's supposed to go up to 16. I need divisible of 4, just because that's the wall height. The player's in the way. Okay. Cool, that'll be fine. Now these will want to go out to the right. Alright, that's good enough. It's a quick little temporary blueprint, really. Stitched iron, 1 assembler. We need 4 of these. Blueprint mode, rotate around, face the right way. Oh, you're not playing very nice. Why is that? Oh, it's locking to a different blueprint. There we go. Alright, cool. So, how many are we doing in total? We're doing 20 per minute. Mark 1's totally fine then. And we're going to grab you. I'm going to say maybe temporarily smart splitter can go here. You're going to feed in to the top. Doesn't look right. There we go. And then overflow out to the right. Now, all of these are doing 80 per minute, so it's a Mark II. I don't think we even needed that. I can't remember how much. What was the original number? The original number that we needed was 66, so it does still need Mark II. Oh yeah, right there. I was going to read out the stream elements thing. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I thought someone else was saying that. Okay, so then the wire is going to come out of here. So we'll get rid of that for a moment. These 2 little buddies are being merged up. Get rid of that as well, and this and this. Little merger here. Send them along. I'll just give this even a smart splitter here then. How is a player... Oh, it's not a player in the way. It just says too steep. That's okay. That's just a temporary kind of little overflow for now. So overflow out the center is fine. Send you on here. Alright, that should be that. Just need to give him power. Okay, oh, didn't connect them. We don't have a power outage, but we should be okay. I'm gonna count up those things again. So it's 133.33. So it needs a Mark III belt after it combines. Yep, that's okay. Damkara, thanks very much for the gifted subs or memberships. 5 of them being gifted to Recep T, Sinister Plank, Daniel L, DeBear, 1310, and FONS. Or F-ons. Thanks. Appreciate that a lot. Damkara. My bad, didn't see you getting split. No worries, no worries. I'd rather people catch me up on things, even if they turn out to be wrong. Just in case. It takes a few seconds to look. Could save a lot of time, so it's always good. I don't think I've ever gotten mad at someone telling me to look at something. Right, so we have now just completed... Actually, I should say that we've done construction. All the constructors are down. Just in assembly now. And there's manufacturing. Right, so where we're currently at in the chain is we've just done that. Next up, we'll be taking the iron pipe and mixing it into... with the... reinforced iron plate and mixing it into modular frames. We also need some of that pipe to go into this, and we need some of the pipe to go into that. Dividing these numbers up, it's going to be a little tricky. Were these underclocked to be that correct rate? Yeah, they are. Okay, good. Just making sure. Yeah, at the moment they're all being merged up, but there's 4 groups, so we could look at whatever the total is. $460, and so we need to break 100 off. Divided by 4. But each line makes 115. Doesn't really work that nicely. I was just trying to see if there's an easy way to merge or send these in. You could always just use overflow and it'll all balance out eventually anyway. What does a single machine do? 23. 100 divided by 23 goes 4 times, not evenly. 225 divided by 23, not even. And 135 divided by 23. Yeah. I just thought maybe I could take 1 or 2. I mean, there's probably some math in there, like split one of them in half, join another. It's fine. We'll just lazy it. It'll all work out anyway. To get 100, you know, we could try do some other stuff where we just get a belt of 120, break it off of the main line, break 60 off of that, break that into 3, bring the 20 back in, or separate the 20, I mean, and bring the 40 back in, then we have 100. So this, you could do that, I suppose, but it seems a bit unnecessary. It all fits on one line, so why not just feed them all together? Did you set the recipe in the assemblers? I didn't think I seen you do that. Let's see. Ooh. Got him. Oliver Light says it's actually 23 per minute. They've been underclocked. So sorry if I'm missing what you think it's what the 20 is. My bad. Yeah, we'll just use one line. It'll be easier. I don't know, sometimes it could be nice. Like, if it did work out, it's like, oh, you could take just this top row that'll feed straight across into one set of assemblers. But it doesn't work that nicely, so we'll leave it. Greetings, Ace. Okay, so while these guys are ramping up... Oh, actually, they don't have anywhere to go right now. But they're all getting fully consumed, aren't they? 20 per minute going into 10 assemblers. We'll rotate those assemblers around. Just as an example, it would be probably something like that. Their directions changed. Okay, so how many of those do we need? We need 10 assemblers. 10 for modular frames. Alright, modular frames. Alternate recipe, steeled modular frames. Do we have to clock these in any way? Nope, it's just 10, all running at 100%. And they take 2 of these each. If that's the case, we'll just double up 2 of these next to each other. And we could just put down 5 of these blueprints together. It's a line of 10. I think we could maybe do it where it's 3 and then 3 on top. I don't know, maybe not then. I'm just trying to see, like, would 10 fit in the line here? I guess so. Okay, we'll try that. Right, so copy that. Jay Collin, thanks so much, man. Is this the 1.0 world? It is a 1.0 world, but it's not the one from the video series. These are, and thanks by the way for that. Super chat's very generous. I've got 2 series going on. One is the Desert Start, which is the video-based series. The other is this one, which is a... Where did we start, actually? It was the Northern Forest. This one's a lot more further on, but I don't do any cosmetics and stuff, and it's just me sitting down playing the game and chatting with people, whereas the other video series is more like curated and edited and everything. This one started when 1.0 came out, and I stream twice per week, Wednesdays and Thursdays. As for the video series world, it uploads fairly irregularly, I guess. But yeah, I was just away yesterday and the day before, so I'm really eager to get the next videos out. But unfortunately, we're purchasing an apartment. Unfortunate or fortunate, depending on how you look at it. But that's just caused random disruptions to scheduling. And coming just off of Christmas and just off of my cat dying, been really awkward to figure out a good schedule. So sorry about that. Not that you're complaining or anything. Just want to let people know that I'm not prioritizing one over the other. But I try to hit Wednesday and Thursday. So it's like I just got back today. And I was like, okay, we'll stream just to continue this and make sure I don't miss a day. But pretty much, well, tomorrow I'll be streaming as well, but then I'll also be working on the video again. But then hopefully by this weekend you'll have that video, and then hopefully even just a few days after that, the next one will be out as well. It's going to be a fun one. The oil pipeline's pretty fun to work on. Right, so we're feeding in from one side and one from the other side. That's actually perfect. Or is it? No, actually we want them from the same side this time. Just get rid of that, get rid of that. Is the feed direction correct of this one? No. And is the output? The output is actually going to be... well, you could go either way, but probably would be easier to go the other way. And we're only making 30 per minute. So this can stay Mark 1. So just double check that. That's okay. That's okay. These guys are fine. I'll link these together now, I suppose. They're not going to be taking in... Oh, they will be taking in 100 per minute for the steel pipe. So we'll give that a Mark II on the top there. Alrighty. This is mod frame assembler. And they're connected. Yep. Alright, let's do that one next. Mod frame assemblers. Line these up here. Just need a gap of 1. Maybe 2 tiles just to be safe. We need 10 of these machines. There's 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Just have to link these all together now. Games are awesome, thank you. Oh, no, yeah, I love doing them. Did you have any code in the newest Manderlord beta update? No. I haven't done any Manderlord's work since December, actually. Just been too busy. I'm doing a little bit of design work and writing, but nothing that's in right now. Alright, so those plates can just make their way straight over. No big deal there. In your opinion, what is the best start? Not necessarily a beginner, just the best. I don't know. I feel like, I know I've played the game a lot and I'm a YouTuber or whatever, but I just feel like I'm not very good at, like, efficiency. Just, like, knowing, like, what the best of anything is in any game. I play games seemingly different to a lot of people. I think Grassy fields is probably the easiest, so that might be the best. People say northern forest is probably the best because there's really a lot of pure nodes around you, but I just don't think you're going to be using pure nodes until later anyway, so I just don't... I think you'll get up to speed. I think you can get stuff made quickest in grassy fields because of the variety of everything that's down there. But certainly the purest nodes and the concentration of oil and a few other more advanced things are up in the north. So, yeah. I'm a bit unsure if I might be hindering myself further on, and if the oil would be better suited to do something other than the power. I'm having the issue of too many options in the game. I'm starting to tap the oil, I'm reading this backwards, tap the oil in the west of the map. I'm currently thinking of 500 plastic and rubber and the rest in power, 14,500. But unsure if I might be hindering myself further later on, and if the oil would be better suited to do something other than the power. I think that 14,500 sounds like an okay amount. Although, honestly, not that much, I suppose. It doesn't sound like that much. But I just feel like if it sounds to me like 14,500, if you're making 500 plastic and rubber, I almost feel like a lot of that power is just going to be eaten up really quickly. And you'll be working on another power plant sooner rather than later. I don't know what the most efficient way to tackle power is. What I'm planning on doing in my Desert Start series at the moment is I'm building a big pipeline to get all of the Spire Coast oil. So there's oil up here. There's tons of it. Oh, sorry, here. There's loads of it. There's, I think 13 nodes. Something like that. There's a lot, anyway. If you merge it all together, there's 6 Mark II pipelines of oil. I think it's 3,450 oil per minute. So the plan in my Desert series, anyway, is to take like 3 of the nodes, well, to build the pipeline anyway for kind of future-proofing. Like, I know there's potential to have 6 full pipes, so we're just going to lay out the pipes to begin with. And the pipes will stretch into the desert. The idea is that they're going to go into a sort of distribution center or a pumping station, whatever you want to call it. Let's call it a distribution center. And in there, I'll route it into a factory, right? And maybe that factory makes oil. Or, sorry, makes power to begin with. And then another pipeline can go into rubber and plastic. Later on, as you get better recipes, you'll be able to refine the oil into something much better than fuel. You'll get you'll get recipes for like diluted fuel with blenders, or even just things like turbo fuel and then rocket fuel and all this other stuff. Like, so you'll make your fuel go way farther. You can't really expect the player to anticipate that early on, or even like spend all the time getting ready for it when they don't have it unlocked for a long time. So that's why I have this distribution center. The idea is that I'll build a building with the, you know, standard fuel in mind, and then as more pipelines get activated, we'll build a new power station that can use like some of the other fuel, and the original pipeline that's going off to the old fuel can be turned into like a continuation of the plastic and rubber. It's probably not being explained super well, but it's like if I build a factory like this and it's got a little bit of plastic, little rubber, little power, just like you. That's the plan to get us to advance further and have some components going. I know eventually the power that's in this factory, we're going to take it away, and it's going to be just plastic and rubber. So I'm actually building that factory to the spec of using just plastic and rubber eventually, but for now we'll divert some of that and keep some power going. Later, we'll tap some of those extra nodes in the Spire Coast, bring it into the distribution center, and we'll send that out to a new diluted fuel factory. Once we get that up, or whatever it is, rocket fuel, whatever. Once that gets powered on, then we take away the original power, because it'll be trivial by that point. So that's at least the plan. I don't know if it's going to work that way, but I feel like that's a steady way of progressing without feeling like you said, a bit stun locked. Like, I'm not sure, like, is this the best way to future-proof? It's like, this is a middle ground approach where it's like, I know I'm going to get better stuff later, so we'll make use of it. For now, we'll build something in mind knowing it's going to change. So, like, lots of room for extra refineries when it's going to become plastic and rubber. and have a decent system in there for carrying that stuff out. It's like, oh, it makes 300 per minute now, but it's like, yeah, it's gonna make 1,000 per minute later. So let's make sure we have like the room for all the belts and the capacity for the truck stations or train station, that kind of thing. So that's what I'm doing anyway. That's my new approach to that. Anyways, so right, so 100 steel pipe per minute needs to go in here. Let me get rid of that. I'll just flip it over here for a sec. This is just temporary to sync this stuff to keep everything running. So using this area now, a smart splitter in front of our steel pipe here will be needed multiple times, really. Yeah. We'll set the overflow on the right side of it, just to go into that awesome sync temporarily. Now what we actually need is 100 then, going this way. So if I only need 100, try to help it out, do a Mark II belt. And that will feed all of these guys. That's going to make now the modular frames. The modular frames are then going to go into the manufacturer at the end. Hello, Bamson, and sorry if I missed anyone there. Grassy Fields is also the prettiest. Both Rocky Desert and Northern Forest are good options. Rocky Desert is awesome as hell. As well, sorry. My previous world was there, and it had relatively easy access to everything needed in that area. I understand you. That's actually a good idea. That's smart. Yeah, that's the plan to reveal in the next video. More trying to be more forward-thinking. And you can only know this stuff if you played through the game a few times. You can't know it in the beginning, because you just don't know what you're going to encounter. But yeah, I like the idea of having like a kind of a known area where we can, a big room with 6 pipes coming into it that we can say like, this is where we redistribute where that oil goes. Instead of building something that's very fixed, and you go back to it and you're going like, oh my god, I have to change everything now if I want to use this again. I think a big time saver in the game is just always knowing that like, we can build to the belt speed above where we're at, so knowing that we'll get better ore coming out of the ground eventually, just once we get upgraded. Saying I'm trying to apply that to oil. It's like you don't know that you're going to get better recipes, and you're not necessarily going to get more oil out of the ground, but you can use it in more efficient ways later. So if you anticipate that somewhat, you can kind of have the best of both worlds, hopefully, or at least the easiest way of tearing old stuff down. Anyway, 214 now with 45 likes. It's a random stream. It's totally fine. I wouldn't like it. You're watching someone drink as well. Just want to catch up and I'm just scan reading really quickly, see if I missed anything else. For the iron pipe or steel pipe, if you split pipes output to 4 Mark II belts, sending overflow to one of them, the overflow belt should have exactly 100 pipes. If the pipe's output is 460, I don't know if it's worth it though. Yeah, I appreciate that, but I think yeah, you're right. It's just not worth it. And a smart splitter just taking what it kind of needs for this manifold is fine. Because ultimately, we can't make the thing that the rest of these are needed for is gonna. I'll show you. To me, it's like we're branching some off to feed into here. We're overfeeding it by 20 per minute at first. It's like, oh, you're taking some away from the heavy modular frames, right? What does that matter though? We can't make them without having this anyway. So it's like, fine. And it's the same result here. So to me, it's like, it's okay. It would be nice to have it even just for OCD's sake, but it's all good. Right, so far today's stream, we've been flying, right? We've made constructors doing iron plates, constructors doing wire. We've brought them together here into assemblers making reinforced iron plates. We've brought them over with the steel pipe to now make modular frames, which we have. So we're still doing just a little bit more of assembly. We have the encased industrial beams left, and then it's just the modular frames before we do fused. Excuse me, goddamn. Michael Nishiguchi. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you very much, man. And he said, thank you. Your Satisfactory videos helped me a lot during a really hard time in my life last year. That sucks to hear that, but I'm glad that it could provide some sort of a distraction and take your mind off things. Finally, a chance to catch you live, says Ben, with his own super chat. Been binging your videos for the last few months, and I love the content. Got me into the Anno. Got me into Anno years ago, and now Satisfactory. Love to hear that. Great, thank you, Ben. Another first-time legend. Yeah, it's really nice when it says, let's celebrate their first super chat on a live stream. It doesn't even just say mine. It means it's their first one ever. So thank you. That's like such a big compliment. So I really appreciate that. And I hope things are improved now, Michael. Anyways, sorry, you just make me think of like my own, well, probably pales in comparison, generally speaking. But I had a few rough things happen last year too, and I have similar content creators or just other people that I watch, and it's like it's so nice to know that they're there, and when they're not, every now and then it's like they miss an episode. It's like, oh, it really bums you out. So that's why I hate being inconsistent, and I really am. So I'm always trying to improve that. Anyways, right, so I'm just looking at a screen that you can't see. 9.375 assemblers doing encased industrial beams. That's the next thing, so let's get it going. With the Sephiroth lo-fi beat music in the background. These will pretty much do the job. We need 10 machines, so 9.375 divided by 10? I think that's what it was. I don't know why I have to keep doing that out when it's quite obvious, but 9375. You need, I guess, copy that and paste it in. It's easiest. Encased industrial pipe. Paste this in here. Bonk. Copy. See you later. Good night. Now, you're gonna be fed one from both direction. Actually, the bottom one can stay on that side. Let me just picture this. Sorry, yeah, the bottom needs to go to the right. The top needs to go to the left. So the bottom one needs to change. Okay, cool. Bottom one is going to be the top one's going to be the steel pipe, and that's 225 per minute. Eight. To the left or to the right? I think to the right probably would be best. Okay, so when you need, for example, 9.5 of a building, do you prefer to underclock all 10 or just the 10th one? I used to always, in my update 8 series, I used to always just underclock the one on the end. And that's why I used to, in my old videos, you'll see a lot of the machines have a little sign on them. And then one of them will typically say the clock speed. They'll all say 100, and then one will say one that's different. And I realized that you don't need to do that. You could just clock them all the same. Once I learned the very simple math, and I learned this on stream. Let's say you need... Let's say you work something out, and you're like, okay, I need 6.65 machines, right? It's like 6.65 machines. What does that mean? It means I need 7, right? One of them needs to be underclocked to 65%. Or all of them could be underclocked. If we just do this, I'll build 7 machines. Then I'll need to clock them all to 95%. What if for aesthetics, I want 10 machines? Clock them all to 6.5%. For whatever reason, if I wanted 8 machines, just for maybe I built a blueprint that way. It's like 0.83, 125. Now, I always forget this. Always forget it. But what's better for power? I can't remember. We ran the test on a stream once. It's like, okay, is it better to have... Let's say I've got 10 machines. And I needed 9.2, right? So I needed 9.2 divided by 10. Is it better to run them all at 92? Or is it better to run one of them at 20% and all the others at 100? For power, my gut tells me it's better to run one of them at a very low rate. I avoided 6.6. Yeah, it's not the 666 that worried me, but it was like, well, 6.66 recurring just is not a good example of this. So I was trying to differentiate the number, but you're right. That's why I stopped. It's not like I'm afraid to say 666 or something, or even show it. But it comes up quite frequently in the game, 6.66667 or something. So it's like, nah, I need something different than that. But that's all I could think of. Anyway, yeah, you can do that test yourself. Maybe I'll do it later if we've got a bit more time. But I'd like to know that. I always forget. I'm pretty sure, because as you lower the clock speed of a machine, the power goes up a lot. So I think it's actually better to lower one for power than it is to lower many by a little bit. Anyways, right, so get rid of that. When you ran the test, it was better to run them all underclocked. Was it really? Wow, okay. Goes against my intuition. That's maybe why we did the test in the first place. I wonder if it depends on how many machines. What if you've only got 3 machines? Is it better to run one of them at 10% and the other 2 at 100? Or is it better to run them all at, like, whatever that is, 70 or something percent? I don't know. In case industrial beam assemblers, and we said we needed 10. Well, that's interesting. We can actually build them in line here. That's going to be in the way just for a moment, but we'll just build over it, just temporarily. These just haven't received their material yet, is it? Yeah. Gonna take a while. 10 machines on a long manifold like that. Same thing's gonna have to happen here as well. Dun, 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 dun. Here's a Reddit comment with some math. It seems like it doesn't make much of a difference. Better to underclock evenly. 4 machines at 25% versus 1 machine at 100%. That's an easy way to look at it. Yeah, that's true. I think it does make a difference, rather than the Reddit comment. Because I remember we looked and it was like, oh yeah. Especially if you, I assume when you get later on and it becomes like a bigger deal, like you've got a lot of machines, you start to feel the benefit more. I don't know, but yeah. Worth considering. Right, anyways, so the modular frames that are coming out here, I might actually just let them build up. That would give us a nice head start to the manifold. But we don't need to connect them just yet. So these are going to be steel pipe. This will go here. Probably not being Mark II anymore. Overflow out the right. Yep. Son of a bitch. Can't remember. Did I reconnect that? Yeah. That's the steel pipe. That'll be the modular frames on the bottom. And I'll just count up. There's 235, right? So it's a strong enough belt. Oh, it already has it. Mark III. Good. How many pipe do we make again? 460. Hemorrhoids. Is that the correct spelling of hemorrhoids? I don't know. But thank you. You're my favorite YouTuber. Oh, wow. I don't believe you. But thank you very much. Really do appreciate it. Hope you get that sorted, by the way. I like running them all at the same clock speed because having the blue lights... Having blue and green lights makes my... Yeah, bothers my OCD. Totally, yeah. It's always better to underclock than overclock anyway. So get rid of those blue... Oh, does it... Is it a... No, underclocking machine doesn't give you a blue light, does it? No, it's only if you overclock them. Yeah. definitely don't overclock one machine. Don't ever do that. Thanks, MC Jam Jam and Matthias. Hey, Colin, I got a 1-up, bro. You're my favorite YouTuber of all time. Oh, no way. That's too much pressure. Thank you, though. And thanks for the support. That's kind of crazy. So I appreciate it, though. Thank you, guys. It's linear for power plants, though. That's true. Yeah, anything to do with power. Clock speeds are linear. And you should always overclock power, really. Not underclock them. Right, this is built up enough. Are we getting down to the end yet? No, not even close. Not even close. Oh, we could turn it on anyway and let them start making their things. Just works. Alright, so that's going to be our encased industrial beam. We're almost at the end. Second last goalpost anyway, the modular frames. Or heavy modular frames, because then of course we could throw on the fused frames, which I think we will. 4 manufacturers running at 100%, taking in the steel beams, the modular frames, and the encased industrial beams. This is the room for that. Might do that in a blueprint as well, seeing as we do need 4 of them. Kara Mohan, thanks very much for becoming a channel member as well. Thank you. Maybe I should do one stream later in the evening and one during the... just to hit the different time zones for some people. I'm seeing different names here. The one stream is earlier, one stream is later. It's a in-game, an in-joke name for my band, Hema. All right. You ever play with fans? No, just honestly, it's just I used to. It's just because I'm trying to make videos and I can't do that fast enough, so I just don't have the time. What am I working on? I'm working on this. I'll talk through it. Actually, we're just about to put the last 4 machines down. So after I do that, we'll run from beginning to end again. So heavy modular frames. Small-ish heavy modular frame factory. Anyway. Last manufacturer has to go down. So we only have 3 inputs for this. It's nothing too crazy. Oh, what direction are these coming from? That's on the right. Oh my god, hang on a second. Did I do something wrong? Oh my god, stupid mistake, stupid mistake, stupid mistake. No! I don't know why I fed in the modular frames there. They need concrete, not modular frames. Ugh. What a disaster. I have to delete these belts now. Or at least, I'll wait till it gets to the end, I guess, and delete those. But all of these ones have to go. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was thinking, like, why would modular... Yeah, damn, silly mistake. So yeah, that's taking in concrete. Interesting. It's actually not a terrible thing that I have to remove this, because the concrete's coming from a different direction. So I actually have to remove them altogether. Concrete's coming from over there. None of you like Darren's channel more than me. It's funny, on the back end of YouTube, it tells you who your top fans are. It's a new thing. It's like a community tab. And it'll say like the people that interact the most, or have been channel members the longest, or like the most, or heart the most. No, sorry, like the most videos, I think it is. Or how many comments I've liked of theirs. So it's like, oh, like this is one of your top fans, like, and you've liked their posts or like given the heart symbol to them the most. That kind of thing. And Jamichael is one of them, I think. But it's strange. Sometimes it shows people who've like only ever like left one comment. So it's like, I don't know. Is it just that they watch a lot then, and maybe they don't comment much? I don't know how it doesn't give you all the information, I guess. Anyway, for this concrete, we needed 187.5 concrete. So that's a Mark III belt as well then. Yeah, had I known that. Maybe the steel should go in the bottom and the concrete on the top. That might make more sense. Alright. So we have to feed that line concrete because I messed up. Just dump that back into these ones because I don't need it. Just fill up these manifolds. Alright. Yeah, so instead of going up like that, this could just go straight out. Mark 3'd out of its mind. Makes no difference. And then in there we'll send the concrete. So the concrete, if we travel along here, make a turn. So it's coming from there. I think that's where I'll aim for. Ooh. Not in line. That's annoying. I must have nudged it forward by one by accident. What a mess that whole thing was. That's alright, it was just over, I guess. Not gonna rebuild them. Place looks like a travesty anyway. Oh, that's annoying. Can that go that far? Probably not. Oh, yes. I'm a full-time content creator. I've been full-time since 2017. Although in the last year, I now have a side job. I'm a designer and writer on... Well, let's say writer, designer on Manor Lords. I have a degree in game development. A programming degree. And when Manor Lords came out, I was kind of friendly with the developer anyway. And then he reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to work on it with him. Which has been a super great opportunity, but it does take time away, unfortunately, from the YouTube channel. Yeah, I had a different YouTube channel before this. I had one called Republic of Play, where I reviewed games. And it had about 130,000 subscribers. But I started doing Let's Plays on the side, and they just started doing a lot better. So I focused on that for the last couple of years. 8 years, how does it feel? That's a conversation for another day. Films. Hey, Films, thanks so much for the super chat. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't mind talking about it. It's just that I'll go off on a million tangents about it. So I don't even know, really, actually, how I feel about the whole thing. It's the hardest thing I've ever done, that's for sure. Trying to see how to get over there properly. I guess aim for this spot. How many up was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Alright, so concrete, let's go. How did you get into content creation? Let me just read some other things first. I like Darren's channel more than you. I took over as CEO of Tesla just to fund my addiction to Darren. Why don't you just use the maximum belt speeds all the time? Just wondering. People ask that all the time. If you use belt speeds that aren't too fast, you can kind of more accurately predict if the right amount is traveling on it. Let's say you only need 120 traveling on a belt. Use a Mark II. Then if you have any gaps in the belt, you know there's something wrong, right? It's just an easy way to tell if something's wrong. Whereas if you have a 1200 belt speed and you needed 120, it's kind of hard to see what's even going on. Also, I just think it's more satisfying having full belts than having belts that are laden with gaps. But it's a personal thing. There's nothing wrong with using a belt speed that's faster, so I would never tell anyone else to do it. I just do it. It's just like one of my things. One of my issues. One of my many issues. 5. That seems unusual. But oh, it's because this is 5. Yeah. It's annoying that that's too far out. Based on how far back I brought that, I'm just going to move that back a bit. Not me watching 2 accounts simultaneously. Yeah, my girlfriend puts on the streams and just walks away. I don't like people doing that because I'd rather know that people are actually there than have falsified numbers. It's cool though, but it's just funny when people tell me that. Say, oh, okay. Can I just move this out? No? Oh, I'm like a bit too far back now. But that's where it needed to be, right? Height-wise. Yeah. I know it's... I don't know why it bothers me, but it just does. So just get this right. Going up to there should be okay. Split the difference. As you may notice that you're certainly more error prone to getting your belt wrong if you do keep varying the speeds like I do. So I would never really tell anyone to do that. Oh, this is crisscrossing. Can't have that. Normally what I do is I build everything Mark 1 and then I just go around the factory and update it. But that's just me. It also saves on material in early game. Right, so now that that's actually been fed correctly, and I'll fix that little visual glitch in a second with the awesome sync. How did I get into... it's 2017, how does it feel? I kind of answered that. How did I get into content creation? I'm trying to think of the quick way of telling that general story. A brief history of Darren. I've always had an interest in making videos, I guess. When I was younger, I lived in Ireland, or grew up in Ireland, and I only got the internet I got the internet quite late. But I remember, like, I used to make videos and stuff on PC, and no, I couldn't share them with anyone because we didn't have internet. Then with like Windows Movie Maker and stuff. But then eventually I got internet and I started making videos. And then it wasn't even gaming, but then eventually it was gaming videos. And then later on, started doing videos. I think I would have seen like the Yogscast was one of the first YouTubers that I'd seen making videos in Minecraft. And this is like their first Minecraft videos. So in 2006 or something, or 2008. And I remember playing Minecraft and then just making my own videos on mods. I was like, I just made videos on mods and like unique maps for that game. I had my friend on the channel every now and then as well, and we just, yeah, dicked around basically. And then I was in roughly around the time I went to college, like I was still kind of doing that, just as pure as a hobby for fun. Yeah, there's nothing I can do here actually. I just have to wait for the manifold to build up. So anyway, that was like in 2010, 2011 or something. I started making Battlefield videos and Minecraft videos. It was just anything. Like, I didn't really care if anyone saw them. But I always liked editing. They weren't like just Let's Plays. It was always like montages or just silly videos, that kind of thing. One of my friends was always like, we'd be in Battlefield and he'd be like, he would always just role play as like an officer or something, whether we were recording or not. We used to think he was so funny. I didn't know him very well. He was like from California. He was like an online friend. And we used to record him and make edits of like things he would say and stuff. So that was always fun. Anyways, long story short, kind of, in 2013, a game I was hotly anticipating called Total War Rome 2 was coming out. And I was a really big fan of Rome Total War. I was a console gamer primarily. Still kind of am. And, but one game that broke through was Rome Total War and Age of Empires. So Rome Total War for me was like a mind-blowing experience. At the time, I was like, this is so cool. And when I started PC gaming, I figured out, I learned how to like mod a little bit. I remember looking through the files, and in Rome 1, there was 4 different colored versions of Rome. There was the Senate, which were purple. Then there was like blue, red, and green Rome that represented different families. And later on in the game, you have a civil war and fight them. And I remember thinking like, man, it would be so cool. You know, me as a 14-year-old, it'd be so cool if I could play as the purple Rome. You're not allowed to play as them. And that's the only reason I wanted to do it. It's like, oh, you're not allowed to play as them. They just stay there in Rome with a huge army. And I was like, why can't we play as them and give the others the missions to go do things for us? Why can't we be them? That'd be so cool. So then I found out you can like go into the files and like change things that allows you just to play as them. I remember thinking, this is so cool. I was like, wow, I can like type in a few little command lines. Suddenly I'm a game developer and I'm making games. That's what it felt like anyway. So that was going on in the background. I was like learning how to mod and do things. Anyway, fast forward to, like I said, 2010, 2011 and stuff. And I was like, all right, I've been zoomed in this whole... Oh, no, I haven't. Yeah, it's good. And I was realizing that Rome 2 is on the way. I got my first job as a... So this is why I went to college, actually, for programming. Because I wanted to be a game developer. That's like the moment I knew. I was like, oh, I'd love to be able to make games in the future. It's so cool that you can do that. And I did everything I could to work towards it. Because I'm not mathematically gifted. Quite the opposite. So I had tutors and everything. I was trying really hard to like get good enough math grades to pass and get into college to do that. And I did. Anyway, on my third year, you have like an internship you're supposed to try and get an internship. And there's like 30 of us, and only 2 people actually ended up getting a job. And I was one of them. And I worked as a programmer for 6 months, and it was great. And Rome 2 was just about to come out, and I was like, this is going to be great. It's 2013. Rome 2, it looks amazing. It's everything I've always wanted. I didn't play the other Total Wars. I just wasn't interested in guns and stuff, except for Shogun 2 was kind of cool. And then I bought a PC. I had my first paycheck, and I was like, I'm gonna buy like a PC. It's gonna be like a beast. I was always playing on a shitty laptop and stuff, and yeah, put all my money, because I didn't have any rent or anything, all my money into just getting a big PC, which is like 3,000 euro or something back in 2013. It was crazy amounts of money for me anyway. It was everything I earned, and the game sucked. It was like a knife in my heart. So what I started doing was making videos on that game and reviewing it from the perspective of someone who's done programming and was doing AI programming specifically, and I was trying to break down what was going wrong with the game, and I was reviewing the DLCs that were coming out because no one else was. People were just doing Let's Plays, and I was like, I'm going to review these things because people should know. And it bothered me so much, like, that the game sold so well, but you'd never see anyone in the mainstream journalism ecosystem, like, ever talking about it. It's like, to me, it was just so unfair that there was no Steam reviews, there was no Steam refunds. They just got away with it. It felt like that. So I really wanted to make videos and like bring to light what I perceived as issues with that game. Anyways, Creative Assembly saw the videos, and they invited me out as like a YouTuber to their studio to show us Attila and a few other things, like Arena. And we got to interview the developers, and suddenly I was like, okay, I just got my foot in the door at the studio. They don't know necessarily that I'm like a programmer guy or whatever. But dude, you get your foot in the door at any one of these places, you gotta like jam your foot in. Like never let them close that door. So I was like asking people constantly to like, how can I get a job here? How can I work here? What can I do here? How can I be an intern? All that kind of stuff. They were like, got no positions. Didn't matter. I would just ask different people like the same thing. Try to meet as many of those people as I could just so they'd know me. A lot of them had seen my videos. A lot of them didn't like me because of how critical I was. And even if I thought, anyway, fair. I never insulted any developers, but I was obviously bringing to light, like, problems with this game. Anyway, so eventually, Creative Assembly hired me. And I worked there as a QA. I was supposed to do QA and also marketing, because they weren't sure which one I should do. The marketing team wanted me for the videos and stuff because they were doing really well. They'd get like 50,000 to 100,000 views. More views than I get now. This is 10 years ago. And I only had like 20,000 subs. Sorry, I'm just trying to think. I can't play a game and think. I'll try to wrap this up in a second because I'll just focus on this. But I'm just trying to think, what direction is this stuff going to be coming in from? The modular frames are coming around from the left. So at least one of these has to face in from the left. So I'll do this one. The other 2 are coming from the other direction. So I think that's okay. Anyways, so I ended up working there, but it was an internship where I was supposed to transition over to QA, and then they were like, they're really nice, and it seemed legitimate. They wanted me to like work on design and stuff, but they were like, oh yeah, we'll do QA, and then see where you want to go from there, but we'll like give you like a design QA focus or something. I was like, okay, cool. Anyway, as soon as I worked there, dreams shattered, reality set in, just overly corporatized, zero passion from a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people. It's just a job for a lot of people. They don't play the game. Broke my heart. Like within months, you know, it's just like, this sucks. My job is fine. It's great to work at a company like that. They're a good company to work for. But as someone who was very passionate about those games, it was one of the worst things to experience. Like basically, when you just realize that they just don't care that much. And decisions are like really trivial sometimes, and that a lot of the designers and developers would be really annoyed with certain things. Oh, I built that. I actually don't need to. And unhappy with like things that they don't have enough time. It's like, oh, it's so frustrating. Like they sell better each year, but they get like less and less time each go around, and then people leave after 2 years. Nobody is there from the times before. Like it's like, oh, okay. So I wasn't completely stupid thinking like this is amazing. Everybody loves their jobs. But it was just worse than I thought. So I quickly, after 2.5 years of working there, I kind of just became quite jaded. I had opportunities to move into actual development, but I just stayed in marketing. I had a designer friend who lived with me, and he joined just after me, actually. And he was an intern and worked his way up. His name's Mitch. He's a great guy, great designer and everything. But through him and other designers I was really friendly with, I just realized I do not want to work there for 10 years to maybe become a game director and to be put on something that I don't like. Like, I remember game director Ian Roxburgh calling Warhammer 1, the project that he was working on, to quote him, he's like, I don't want to work on this fucking reskin that I've been tasked with. Shouting like down the studio halls or whatever. And I was just like, dude, what's the point of doing that? What's the point of working for that long to maybe get to that position, right? If you're lucky or good enough. And then you just end up having something that you've really little control over because you're on like a conveyor belt of annual releases. I was like, fuck this. So I stayed in marketing for a while. I had committed to coming over to England. I couldn't leave the place, and easily. So I just kind of rode out my job for a while, and then I just decided like, oh, I'm just gonna quit, and handed in my notice. And then they offered to like double my money, and I remember being like, really, not double it, but vastly increase it. Probably like, I went from about 22 grand to like 32, whatever that number is. So something like that. And I remember being really annoyed. It's like, you could have just been paying me this the whole time. Like, you only gave it to me last minute because I might leave. And I wasn't asking for more money. I just said I was going to leave. That stuff used to really bother me about how they just don't really treat you very well. And there was other little controversies I had in there that made me like really dislike the system, I suppose. Anyway, I left and decided I'm just going to do YouTube. And I had about £300 per month income on YouTube. I still had my Total War channel from before, and I was like, I'll rebrand it. I'm gonna do PC game reviews, and that's what I did. And I decided to quit a job where I had pretty good money. I had a little bit saved up, hoping that with a back against the wall mentality, I'll just find a way to make it work. And it was really, really, really tough to do it that way. You should definitely have an audience before you leave, rather than think you'll grow one after the fact. Because once the money runs out, you're going to be forced into like just trying to get videos out that you're not even that happy with because you need something to like sustain yourself with. But after a year, that was in 2017, after a year I'd run out of money. My dad gave me like a little loan to help me out for a while, just to see if I could make it work. It was starting to grow, so I was like, just a bit more time maybe. And then eventually it did, and it became like an okay paying job considering what I was doing, but for the hours I was doing, not really, I suppose. And I enjoyed it, but it was just extremely stressful, and I used to stream a lot and all of that. And then I started to kind of, I'd have a review hit and it'd be like 100,000 views, amazing, great. Next one, 10,000 views, I'm like, I want to kill myself. Next one, 13,000 views, like, oh my god, life is over. Next one, 1 million, it's like, okay. So I had just no predictability with it. So I decided I need some regularity, some sort of predictability here. So I'll make a Let's Play channel. So I made a Let's Play channel, had both going at the same time. And I noticed that even with the Let's Plays having like very little views in comparison, like just even 2,000 or 3,000 a day, it would add up to be much more consistent viewership than the other channel. And eventually it just outweighed it completely in around 2021, 2022. And I went all in on that channel, and I renamed that one then. It was called Republic of Let's Play to What Darren Plays. And that's how we are where we are now. So there you go. Sorry, that wasn't a short version at all, but that's my content creator journey. Whew. Those lifts were connected, if those are the ones you're asking about. Let me pop back on the music and we'll just continue normally now. Sorry, we'll focus back on the game. I sometimes like talking through all that stuff to remind myself that it just happened, because 8 years goes by fast when you're staring at a screen. Anyway, right, so we're almost there. The encased industrial beams are good to go. These machines are all full, which is actually kind of beneficial for us. The concrete has made its way over. It's just these now, isn't it? We need 4 of them. Let me get rid of this. We'll have to build a proper overflow soon, but things might get a little bit backed up until we do. Not now. That's a warning. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. Might be gaps between those poles, is there? No. Okay. Goes in there. Alright, cool. Let's just connect these up together then. I'll do the bottom belts first, I guess. These will be the modular frames. This is the encased industrial beams. This will be the steel pipe. How much steel pipe do we need? 135. I'll catch my chat just 1 sec because I just got distracted so much there. I just want to get this building at least hooked up, and then we can chat while it fills up for a bit, you know? It's alright. Go down the middle. There you go, freedom. Those guys can get out. And the beams. So the beam priority is to go down there. Yeah, we need another smart splitter here then. Oh, actually there is one here. Cool. This is going to be overflow at the right. Recto? Yep. Alright, cool. There we go. That's it. They're all fed. Oh boy. Props to man for taking that leap of faith. Thank you. Yeah, it was not... I weighed up and thought, like, hey, I'm only 23 or something. I'm gonna do it. You should do it when it's, say, I don't have kids or anything like that, you know? And it's taken a really long time. I'm very glad I did it. I just think I probably should have prepared a bit more. But that's okay. It's all good now, I guess, in the end. But I just feel like there's a couple of years in there of wasted time. Need 4 inputs? Am I crazy? What am I missing? Oh, the concrete. Okay, yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, okay. Sorry, is this aligned? Thankfully it's only 4 machines. None of these... Oh yeah. These ones are throwing me off now. Alright, concrete we need 82.5. So whatever is remaining anyway, so again with the smart splitters. Alright, sorry about that, but there we go. Mark II belts, concrete, being fed as well. Are these wrong as well? Why aren't they receiving? Someone did ask earlier, are those belts hooked up? I guess not. What? Some of them are. These are all blueprinted. How did this go wrong? You're not getting it. And you're not getting it. Neither are you. I have no idea how that's happened. Okay. I just don't remember why that would have happened if they're blueprinted. But clearly someone mentioned it. Yeah, they're full with pipes. That's fine. They didn't have any concrete though. Oh, I had the pipe go in there beginning. Oh, yeah. That's funny. That's still happening now as well, is it? Because so this belt had pipes on it originally that the lift still had pipes in them. That makes sense. Still though. Oh yeah, it says one pipe. Huh. I never would have thought of that. Alright. They're clear. Thanks. Oh boy. Alright, a little painful, but they should make their way down now. Now, concrete's not going to go until it overflows. Concrete... I could maybe pick some up and manually dump it to fill them, because they're going to be way backed up from before. I told someone earlier, oh, we'll go over the whole factory in a minute. It's almost done. It was like 40 minutes ago. I want to get into content creation. Do you have any tips for me? Yeah, so if you've got a job already, and you want to get into content creation, first of all, I think it's wise to focus on one game if you're starting out, rather than trying to spread the field. You can get attention. It's much easier to get attention on your videos if there's one dedicated community for that game. Like, if you're trying to bounce, like you feed something to Satisfactory players, for instance, and then you try to feed it something to a different group, it's just, it seems people are more and more siloed depending on what the game is. Unless you're just really great out the gate, like a real great personality and an amazing breakdown. Whatever it is you end up doing, you should focus on doing the same thing, whatever that is, right? So maybe your whole thing is, I review games, but like with this unique perspective, or whatever it is. Well, then you need to at least find games that like the consumers are interested in that same type of thing, you know? So try to focus on, any way you can try to focus on like groups is better. You get more people, and then as you grow, then you grow with them. That's okay. But to start out, it helps a lot to focus on the smaller group the smallest group you can, and provide something that they maybe don't have already. For instance, with Satisfactory, I don't know if this exists much out there or not. Let's say you want to do Satisfactory videos. I would review mods or something like that. I'm sure people do videos on these, but I mean like a more regular cadence of like mod reviews, mod update videos, that kind of thing. That'd just be one avenue. Or it's like, I review JRPGs, you know? Like, okay. Like, yeah, that's a tough one, because it's like these games take like 100 hours, but something like that. And the great thing is, if you have a job already, you're in the position to be able to spend a lot of time making the video as good as you can, and as appealing and as different than other people if you can, or just with your own unique spin on it. Like, I would love to just reset the board and have 50 grand in the bank so that I can now just, or just whatever it is, I have a job on the side so that I can just go like, you know what, I'm just gonna start again and like make videos in a different way, where I don't feel like I have to put one out like every 3 days or whatever the case is. I would love to do that. I haven't been in that position ever, because I always feel like, because I'm already in the rat race of this is my primary job now, I'm constantly fighting for attention, whereas I can't make the video as good as I'd like to be. I'd like to think I could do things in videos that if I just had a bit more time, I could maybe help them do better, but I don't have the time to do it. It requires too much upfront investment. Yeah, I went down to see if I could go grab the concrete. I could just grab it from here and just help bore the machines, but yeah, it's not easy that way. Now, let's see. Because if we look at the math really quickly, we need 187 to go in here, and we need 82 to go into these. So we're overproducing this line quite a bit. So, it will fill up. It's just a question of how long it takes. I mean, 82 extra per minute. Every stack is 500, so it takes like roughly 5 minutes per group. But it obviously compounds as they're consuming all the time and putting stuff out. So, but in theory, that would get backed up too, because these machines aren't getting enough either. So it will work out. I'm just trying to find a way to make it go a little bit quicker, so we can just dump some concrete into the ends of each machine. Force the manifold to like fill up faster, I guess. Anyway, so my general advice anyway, if you're starting content creation, is take your time, try to make your video really good if you can. That's all. Because as long as you've got another job on the go, you don't have to worry about that. You shouldn't act like a normal YouTuber if you have another job. You can focus on making the video as good as possible. And if you can hit whatever regular cadence you can hit, do it. Do that. And yeah, try to maybe do something that's a little different. Any kind of unique spin on things is good. And YouTube Shorts are usually pretty good too, to complement your videos. I bought the game a year ago, but never even clicked it. Is it really complicated? Said Mr. Kaiser. It's not that complicated. You're looking at like someone who's played a long time and is much further into the game, so it can be more complicated now. It depends on what your familiarity is with these types of games just generally is. You know, I would imagine someone who only ever plays PlayStation games and plays like whatever the biggest hits are, like more mainstream but big hit games, might look at this and go like, this looks like the most complicated thing ever. And then you show them like a Paradox game and their mind will melt. But I look at those games now and I just think, yeah, I get it. You know, it's really not that complicated, because I just feel like no game really is. All these games want you to play them, whoever you are. Anyways, a great way to learn these games is to look at videos. I know it's a little bit of a turn off to people, but 2 ways to make this game easier to understand and learn. Just watch a video. I would shamelessly plug my own. Like my first Let's Play series in this for update 1.0. It's an hour long. It's a long video, but even if you just watch the first 10 or 15 minutes, you'll save yourself a lot of time, because you'll just get a lot of concepts straight away. And it's very much designed as a video to teach people who've never played anything like this before, but to also just keep constantly moving forward. So I spent a really long time making that video to understand like how can I best explain everything but also keep it going and doing stuff all the time. So I'm really proud of that one. I think it's great from that perspective. The other way to make the game a lot easier is to play with a friend. The game's multiplayer, so if you do have someone you can play with, you just cut down on the amount of time it takes to do things. One person can do one thing while the other does another thing, and then you learn from each other and stuff like that. So yeah, great to see you. Keep your thing, you gorgeous creature. Thanks, Fantasia. Thanks, Martin. Yeah, it was okay. I went to Ireland mostly for business reasons. I'm purchasing an apartment. I had to do a transfer of money, and it's transfer of money that you have to be there for. Can't do it online. So that's why I went. But my niece, who just turned 1, I have one brother, and he had his first child with his fiance just in January of last year. She just turned 1. She's like the first kind of granddaughter of like both families. Gets a lot of attention, and we kind of had a mini birthday party for her because I was away for it. I'm the godfather. And that was nice. And my parents happened to be away for it too. So we were all there to kind of just 1 week later have like a mini birthday for her. So it was nice. It was a rockin' party. But I was actually just really busy and I didn't sleep at all. So it was really kind of actually quite frustrating. But I wanted to be more present, but I kind of just mentally couldn't be. But anyway, all feeling good now. I'm back. I was only there for 2 days. Who made me? Who made who? Thanks very much for becoming a channel member. Appreciate that a lot. And I appreciate people letting me go on my diatribes as usual. What do we got? We got some flashing lights down at the bottom. They're filling up with pipes. Oh, that's to be expected. Yeah, we need to make our overflow again. But it can be an overflow for everything now. I might move this forward just a little bit, 'cause then that gives me more space to do another one. Alright. Okay, so yeah, another one in here would be good then. What does that need to be? Going in there is 135. Oh, so it needs more than that then. Mark 3, please. Just make sure that's okay. Yeah. Alright, some concrete's starting to make its way down already. Something. Oh yeah, they're all green lights actually. That's great. Excellent. Mark 2, Mark 2. Great. Alright, so this is just the actual, the final overflow. That's just to send it into the bin. And we'll join it on with other ones as well. But I'll be a little cheeky. Give me some of this stuff. They'll empty out now, naturally. But while they're a bit more full, we'll just steal some of their stuff. Should do, anyway. If they don't, after a while, then we'll try to find out why. I actually think these are all just going to be full. We've just got too much pipe. Alright, cool. So, we are now making, ideally, I think we should go over the whole factory now. I'll just try to catch my chat just really quickly now. Honestly, an hour video isn't even that bad. It's just like an episode of a lot of TV shows. It can be bad, though, depending on the kind of... I wouldn't want to be told, like, to learn this game, you have to watch an hour-long video. I'd be like, okay. I think I'll just play something else. But it depends on how you feel about those types of things. I've seen what Jay and Fantasia have been saying. It's not too bad. There are plenty of tools out there to help with planning, logistics, etc. Mr. Kazi said thanks for answering. Yeah. Yeah, it just depends on your familiarity with these types of games. Did they ever fix some of the multiplayer issues? Last time I did multiplayer, it was back in Update 7. But unless you were server owned, you never saw trains or anything like that move. Oh, really? Oh. I don't know. I've only played multiplayer... I played Oh, it was a dedicated server, actually, yeah. Yeah, I was going to say that I didn't have that issue, but actually I was on a dedicated server and it was fine. But I guess that's exactly what you're saying. I don't know. I guess is the answer, sorry. Asking if anyone else has the answer, let us know. Asking out of ignorance, but your accent typical in Ireland. I thought you were American based on watching your videos prior to finding your streams. It's actually more typical than you think. A lot of people think Ireland is like a caricature of a leprechaun or something, or Conor McGregor, whoever the most popular person is at the time. Colin Farrell, Conor McGregor. It's like I definitely have a more dulled and Americanized / Britishized accent. So I wouldn't say I'm the normal, or the norm, but I'm not that far off from how I would have sounded before I came to England, for instance, and stuff. And then loads of people sound like me. Like my girlfriend you'd think she's from California, and she's from where I grew up. You have a container for heavy modular frames? No, so I don't have a container for them. We'll have to pop them into a dimensional depot. That's the next step. And then also the next step after this is going to be getting the fuse frames. That's why we're building this. So I've got everything I need for it. So yeah, we'll just send them in this way. I was just trying to think as well where these are going to have to go. So in order to get the fuse frames built, we're here. Got to bring in aluminum casing from over here. So I was thinking of building a solid straight train line. Just a one lane train line that brings in stuff here, drops off the casing, makes the fuse frames. That's it. The only thing is, it's like I guess I'll have to carry the fused frames off. Why do we need fused frames? Is to make the thermal propulsion rockets here. So you need this, but it's also to do turbo motors, no? 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 Ah, no. We need to make a motor factory for them. Yeah, that's what I'm lacking. So we've got modular engines, we've got cooling systems, and now we're almost there for the fused modular frames. The last thing will then be turbo motors. I would probably just fly with a drone the fused modular frames, thinking about it. It's so low volume. Would make a train for that. Yeah, okay. We're almost there. But yeah, there is a motor factory that's needed. These have stopped producing. Still low on conch. I think I might have to go back and check some of these numbers. Let me just get the dimensional... Actually, if they're not really running, I should do that now. Alright, let's go to the beginning of the factory and we'll work out some of the numbers and how things are moving. Any advice you have to get back into the game? You'd have to tell me what you feel like is preventing you getting into the game in the first place. Or do you just mean tips for coming back to it after you're already in? Look at me, I'm not a very attractive man. I'm super bald, first off. I'm not tall. I'm like, what, 5'10"? Well, I'm not fat, so I've got that going for me. They ain't running right. That's their problem. What's the deal here? 101.25. 101.25 times 4. 405. We have a look at our thing. 405. Okay. Mark 4 belt. That can carry 480. Mark 4. That can carry 480. But we got stuttering. What's wrong? Somewhere here must have a shortened belt. Or these are Mark 1. Here you go. I'm bald, fat, and 5'10". I don't mind being bald. It's just obviously it's one of those things that might be a turn off. Not my type. I'll stick with to my wife. Get it through your head, you sexy beast. Thanks very much. Thanks, Jay. Alright, that should fix the concrete problems, the latent concrete issue. I was wondering why they weren't full when I came back here. Right, so we can kind of go through the steps then. So just starting at the very beginning, get what's down here. Nothing right now. But in fact, I'll just move that out of the way. Right, so we have... These are the target numbers. They're a little crazy, right? 7.97638333 extractors. So a little bit much. That started around this area here. Which this person pointed out in the comments of the last stream. But anyway, so we'll just start with one of the chains first, right? So some of the water and limestone mixes to make concrete in 4 refineries. Some of that concrete then just goes on to the very end of the chain, the 4 manufacturers doing heavy modular frames. 187.5 of the concrete goes off into the encased industrial beams. There's 9.4 of the machines at the moment. Round it up, and that gives us 37.5. That's that. The next thing then is all based on iron. So we have 1,084 iron. I think I've rounded it up. So instead of having 30.98 refineries, I believe we've got 32 refineries. 16, yeah, 8, 8, 8, and 8. So we make a little bit more than we need. So we actually, oh, I didn't actually list that, but yeah, I make a little bit more than I need. I assume I did the water okay for that, but if I didn't, actually, it doesn't really matter. Right, so 2,000 or thereabouts ingots goes into, well, 1,840 goes into the steel pipe constructors. So they're the thirsty boys with their pipe. They take a lot of iron. The rest of the iron, just a little bit of fall off, goes into the wire and iron plates. So we have an alternate recipe, just turning iron straight into wire, and an alternate recipe turning iron straight into pipe. So that's made things a lot easier, but it does mean you need a very high volume. It's not very efficient. But we're in an area where there's like 6 pure iron nodes, so it really was no issue just to tap 2. Anyways, so the iron and the iron and the wire combine to make reinforced iron plates. The steel pipe is divided into 3 between making the encased beams, making the modular frames, and making the heavy modular frames directly. and the reinforced iron plates goes into the modular frames. And that's pretty much it. So what we're left with is 11.248. We're using that different recipe for heavy modular frames. The alternate heavy encased frames. It gets rid of screws, so that's kind of nice. And replaces it with concrete. So that's why we have the little extra concrete there. And there was a little issue with it. I didn't have a Mark II belts, so they're fixed now. So it makes 2.812 per minute, just one machine. It's a very odd number. Even for this game, most of them usually are like decimal points to like quarters or whatever. Quaternions, I guess. I don't even know if that's the right word. Probably not. But yeah, they're divisible of 25. Anyway, this isn't. 812. Very odd number. Not entirely sure where that maths out, but it obviously does somewhere. Anyway, so having 4 of those machines running now means that we'll have 11.248. So what we want to do with that, ultimately, what it can be used in is making the fused modular frames. So for that, we need aluminum casing, nitrogen gas, and heavy modular frames. So the gas, easy. We'll just bring one pipeline up here. That'll be more than enough. For the modular frames, we have them here now. And for the casing, we're going to build a train line right now, right over here. So these are the refineries, the 8 groups, so 32 refineries in total, just taking in iron ore. The water is out in the coastline over that way. 2 miners are here. There's more miners, there's 2 other, or sorry, not miners, but 2 other iron mines deposits right there that are also pure. So this place could do a lot more, really, if you wanted it to. And then this is our constructor floors, that's the wire machines. Iron plate machines. Reinforced iron plate, is it? Yep. Modular frames, encased beams, heavy modular frames. So that's it. Oh, and these are, the block here is the steel pipe. So hopefully with the concrete fix, these guys will start getting backed up a lot more, which it looks like that's working. And then any extra concrete that then rolls out goes into these machines and does its thing. So, cool. Right, we want to set up a dimensional depot for the heavy modular frames. I actually technically already have them. We do make heavy modular frames elsewhere. It's like 1 per minute or something. So, in theory, I have it to build all the time. So, you know what? I'm not going to hook it up to a depot then. Just convince myself I don't need to. We'll leave the others as a reserve for that. But what we do need to do is at least consider the amount of machines we're going to need for the fuse frames. I don't mind screws too much. I built an entire screw factory recently, but it could be nice just to cut it out for simplicity's sake. People are actually talking about height now. Yeah, 5'10", I think it's fine, but almost borderline for me anyway. What are your biggest tips for planning ahead and beating the game? I shouldn't give those tips because I've never beaten the game and I've got 2,000 hours, so I'm like the worst person to ask. My current thinking though is a lot of burnout happens when you have to go back and redo things. So for planning ahead, I always say build to the belt speed above the one you're at. But so far, I think that works really well. Yeah, I don't have beating the game tips. One day I'll beat the game, maybe. This is the furthest I've ever gotten. You're witnessing it. It's also the laziest I've ever done things. Like, I don't do any cosmetics, and that's probably why progress is good. Right, so we'll just let that build up in the background. It's not even going into a container, but I don't care. Yeah, I'm just thinking, where's this train station gonna go? I'm confident you can just go straight east/west. Maybe on this rocky plateau would be good enough. Alright, easy peasy. These are his daughters we're talking about. Oh, right. No, I meant for me though. 5'10" isn't so bad. I don't care what height a girl is. It's fine. I mean, generally, nobody else has to feel this way, but I would feel this way where I wouldn't really want a woman to be taller than me. It's not like a... What's the word? Like a... I don't even know what you call it, a traditional thing or something. I just think things look better and work better, let's say, if the guy is a little bit taller. That's all. But I wouldn't look at someone otherwise and be like, oh my god, what are you doing with like a small guy or something? Wouldn't be anything like that. It's not a judgment. It's more a practicality thing, I think. But anyway. Have you ever thought about doing a just for fun Spaghetti Factory playthrough? No. Because I'd like to just beat the game in one of these regular playthroughs first. So my mind isn't really focused on like random other playthroughs. What I would like to do is actually do a series on cleaning up other people's factories. Like, I often see people write in, they're like, oh, I rebuilt your coal plant or any factory, and it's like, I can't get the water working. It's like, I'd love to go in. Sometimes I do, even just on Discord, I'll go in. I'm like, give me your save file. I'll go in and figure out what's wrong and then just fix it and send it back. Or tell them what they need to fix. That's quite fun. I've always wanted to do that as a video series, but I just don't have the time. Not at the time. By 3.0 while I've done it. That was the funny thing. They added so much more content. It's taken longer to get to the end of the game now. Because there's so many more recipes. If I had just made nuclear pasta, which is the next thing, like the next thing after this, I would have been done, right? There was nothing after that. You just have to leave it running for a while. But now it's like, oh, now you need to go even further. It's not a dominance thing. Definitely a dominance thing. Alright, train station. Single track train station. Bonk. Built one of these before, but I often forget how to do them. Go a bit further up. I think just 2 is enough, but I guess just for clearance. We're just bringing in aluminum casing. And how much do I make? 720 per minute. 2 is enough. So what do I need now? Station, but on the other side, don't I? Or something? I think so. I think that's how it works. Why is this not lined? Ugh. Sorry, I have to redo this. All wrong. I was gonna put on another soundtrack. Ooh, anyway, Satisfactory Plus is awesome. Yeah, if I beat this game, I'd love to play it again with mods. I don't think main storage is really necessary unless you want to do it for fun. Yeah, you don't need that. I would argue you never did, but now with dimensional depots, you definitely don't. All right, sorry, I had that in the right place. Just it was a little off center. Oh yeah, I guess that's why it spills over the edge. Okay, good to know. Alright. We're going straight east for quite a while. Might have to go up a little bit here. By the looks of things, yeah. Maybe a double ramp, I guess, would look better. Oh, you don't have a double one. So straight east from here, where do we end up? Pretty close. Is that it over there, actually? Yeah, that's the aluminum. That's kind of where I'd be aiming for, I guess. You can actually see the trucks doing their things. That's so funny. How did you swap your hotbar? Hold... Oh, you've got it, yeah. But left alt and scroll. You've got 10. Should I just I should blueprint this. Or should I? Nah, let's just raw dog it. Because, well, I guess it doesn't really make much difference, but I was going to say you can make the track segments longer. But you could just put different signals down. I guess it wouldn't matter too much. Alright, somewhere over the water here, I'll have to remove these things and also turn to the right. Maybe actually around here I'll turn to the right. Looks kind of nice area to do so. CM. Good to see you, man. Thank you. Show some love. Hashtag show some love. Hashtag show some love. Thank you. I'm actually curious. The bits you get here when you gather spheres and sloops, that's part of the story, just some side lore stuff. Technically both, right? It is side lore stuff, but the whole story of the game is kind of side lore stuff. So that is the game story. It is delivered to you that way. That makes sense. I've never beat the game though, so I don't know what's at the end. And I have the voices turned back on now, because now if I do get new stuff, it'll be telling me things I've never heard before. But they stop telling you stuff after you get like a certain amount of sloops. I think you just have to progress into quantum technology before you get more story. I think. You have to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 3.5 I think is where we need to start from. Right, nice and straight, and then just do a right angle turn with this. Oh, I could probably fly actually. Alright, cool. I was gonna say, like, where's the power coming from? But there's a factory beneath me. Never made nuke knobbies? No, neither. I've never done that actually. I never really make anything to do with obelisks. I've picked up some nuke obelisks before, and the pulse obelisk and the cluster. And it's like, okay. I've never. I just feel like there's always more important things to do than make weapons. They are fun, yeah, but who has the time? Need to beat the game. I'll make them after that. What is it? Yeah, obelisks that can do huge explosions and they leave a little bit of radiation for a while. Not that long. You go boom. Right, I'm not sure about how this works down a ramp. That's okay. Whatever. Good enough. Let's just go there. Alright, I'll connect this to power and then we can at least just ride the rails back and forth. Yeah, aluminum casing can come out there and we can build maybe a raised area for the manufacturers then. I don't know why that's flickering. No. Timmer's dollar. Just wrapping up fused modular frames in mine have 10 turbo motors automated. Power usage through the roof. Did you progress without ever grabbing a sphere sloop, or are they eventually required? I actually don't know at the very end of the game if you need them or not, but to progress in the game, all you need is just to provide the space elevator parts. You don't need any sloops or anything like that to make those. Bit anticlimactic. We're just gonna be floating in the air, but it's just gotta be the way it is. And I'll build a giant pillar underneath this or something in the future to make it look somewhat like it's being supported, but let's be real, we're kind of way beyond that point now. Only required for the mom. Haven't gotten past tier 5 in the hub before. A lot of people get filtered at aluminum. Alright, that's our target. It's okay, we just build a little station here, bring the stuff down into it. Fine by me. As far out as we'll go. Not the right direction, but I'll fix that in a second. So freight platform there. Ooh. Oh my god, shit. I'm out of concrete. Press spacebar with the hover pack, but obviously if you don't have power, it doesn't really do anything. Alright. Don't need to extend power over there really, but I'll just do it for now. Oh, I can't. Why didn't that make a power pole? Oh, it was right on the edge. Alright, let's connect this back up, and then it's just a matter of feeding this the aluminum casing, which should be straightforward enough. And then adding some new machines. Actually, we are done with assembly. Manufacturing left. Yo, Darren, when will you drop the next video? Already prepared the oil nodes. Will you use trains to transport the oil? No. If you want to see a little teaser of what's being used. I don't know when the video is coming out. I just got back from Ireland today. I was away for 2 to 3 days. And then I have stream commitments, which is today and tomorrow. But then after that, I'll be back on the videos. So probably not till this weekend. But the bulk of the planning for it is done, which is good. So it shouldn't take too long, really. After that, videos will be a bit quicker. I had to go to Ireland. I'm working on buying an apartment, and I just had to go over there to transfer money. I had to go physically, which I just find Ireland so backwards. It's hilarious, but I guess they want to be sure it's me, which I suppose is fine. In the community tab for my YouTube channel, I posted, "Greetings, I'm working on the next Satisfactory video, which will be all about oil. Here's a little tease of what I'm calling the slipstream, Spire stream pipeline. The pipeline will be capable of carrying 3450 crude oil over 4 kilometers in a variety of factories for power, materials, and personal pioneer use. The oil will be first received into a distribution pump station, where we can redirect it to various buildings as we develop more advanced refinement technologies, allowing to best prepare for the future without the need for rebuilding. Unfortunately, the pipeline construction has been delayed because I had to go to Ireland. But this is what it looks like. Actually, I've made an even more refined version of this, but this is the general idea. So it's a super long pipeline. There's no train involved. You could have a train do it, but I just think it looks cooler as a pipeline. That's me personally. My preference, I guess. Yeah, I mean, that kind of tells you everything. We talked about it a little earlier in the stream, just a bit more in depth. I just show as well on my Discord. Always get a little bit more info for me in there if anyone's curious. So I made... This is the slightly... No, that's not it. This is the improved version. At least I think it's improved. So it looks really similar. I'll just see if I can open it wider. I just made some adjustments to the supports, and then I ran a cable down the middle because people said, oh, someone in the comments said you should be able to zip line along the whole thing. So now you can. So that's it there. I'm going for kind of a blue and white look to it, and that's pretty much it. So where it's going to be, the plan anyway, is to have it go from here. The idea is that there's going to be some sort of factory here. Somewhere up here will be like this distribution center I talked about. Or maybe even just like even here in a corner. I haven't decided that yet. The idea is that all of this will be grabbed. Now, in the beginning, I'm just going to grab these first 3. But the pipeline is ready for all the other ones to connect to it as well. Not these ones. That'll be different. The idea is that it's going to come up here and this will be a factory with plastic, rubber, and power. But in the future, the power will be removed. So I'm building it knowing that that power will be removed as the oil will be redirected down somewhere else or further up or whatever into a better refinement plant. I need to see what's involved with like rocket fuel and stuff. So it'll go wherever it needs to based on that. But that's the idea. I need to make a version of the pipeline where it's just a single pipe or just 2, because sometimes it'll branch off after it comes out of this area into different lanes. That's the idea. I always upload my save file after the video is done. So, yep. Might be too complicated for my dumb brain. It's really not that complicated. Especially at the beginning. I think an issue you can find when you're watching someone else play is that they're pretty far into the game. But it ramps up quite slowly. And I don't want to be redundant because I did just talk about like someone came in saying like, oh, I'm the exact same thing you did, which is, I worry it might be a bit too complicated. My answer was basically that you should play with a friend if you can, or watch a video even just covering like the first hour of the game. I know that's like might be a lot to ask in some ways, but even have it on while you're playing if you have a second monitor or even just like on your phone or something, can be a really great relief. Because you'll just find, like, you'll have someone who has a lot of hours of experience telling you just a few of the basics. That will just save you time, I guarantee it, if you just know it early on. Because the game doesn't really do a great job of telling you very much at all, actually. But it's not that complicated. It's kind of as complicated as you want to make it, in some ways. Ultimately, you just have a machine that takes in something and puts out something else. That's the game. And it just scales. So it depends on how you want to figure out how you scale that. You know, it's like, okay, now you need 10 of those machines. And now the machine needs 2 things in, puts 1 thing out. But it's always this, that's just the core concept of it. I guess the only bit where it does genuinely get more complicated is when it comes to like fluid. You know, slightly different then. But at the end of the day, you're just moving stuff around. 1, 2, 3. Alright, we are connected. Just like that. Just gonna move these out of the way. Alright, it looks so ugly. Just trying to advance rather than make things look really good. Alright, cool. Hey, Mock. Thanks for uploading your saves. I love getting to run around and exploring those. It was cool. Yeah, all my other saves are up as well if anyone ever wants them. They're up for free. You don't need to do anything. Just go to whatdarrenplays.com/satisfactory. Blueprints, yeah, blueprints helps you build scale fast. I think when people say they worry about the complexity, it's not about the scale that looks scary to them, it's just figuring out how to move things around and balance numbers when you see people doing that. The thing is, you don't have to balance the numbers. That's just a thing players who are really into the game want to do. Ultimately, you just need to make 1,000 of something. If your machines go on and off, it doesn't matter, you know? As long as they go on at some point. That's all that matters. As long as you can figure out power, I suppose. Everything will just follow from there. Right, so I don't know what I called the other train stations in the world in this game. Or if do I even have any? I'm pretty sure I do. We have some train station somewhere. Oh yeah, the one out here. So what's it called? Trains. It's the actual train. ECT or delivery. There we go. Train station ECT to Caterium Export. Okay. This place is called Aluminum Refinement, so AR1. And we're going to Fused Frame Factory, so FF. You don't have to include factory, so FF1, I suppose. Actually, you didn't even need the number 1. So I would just call this ALM, probably. I don't know, it depends. It doesn't matter. You can name it whatever. I'm trying to be consistent. I'm sure the trucks have routes, actually, that come in and out of this factory, so I'm just going to pop one down for a sec. Alu 2. Okay, so it's called Alu 2. Alu 2. Or is it AL2? Wish I could zoom out and see where that is. Aluminum 2 is up here. It goes down and brings in the silica. We're over here. Okay, I'll just call it ALM then. That's fine. Oh yeah, there's 2 stations here. Hmm. I'm so confused. Do you not need? Maybe I don't need a station on the end, actually, then. Yeah, you don't need 2 stations. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I thought something was off. I was like, why doesn't that one have a name? Because then I was like, do I call this export and that, like, or arrival and that export? Alright, aluminum casing export. I'll have to go to the other side and fix that up as well. Anyways, what we need to do is feed this, right? So it has to be, train setting is load. This has to be fed aluminum casing. The casing is up here. That's Anclad, and this is the casing. Casing at the moment is just going down to a station, so that's not needed anymore. Or, well, it might be, but probably not. We just need to get that across to over there. Okay. What is this? It's a Mark 5 belt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go that way for a minute. And somewhere here, I'll just go over and we'll split between them evenly. That's in the middle, actually, so this can be our thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Might be too high. Can't remember. Yeah, it's too high. Alright, so over here now, a splitter, just somewhere here. Actually, even just there would be fine. There. There. Now, the idea is to line these up. But it's kind of difficult. So I'm just going to eyeball it, wing it. About there? What do you think? There? I think even one lower. Let's see. That was correct, but yeah, we need the belt is too long. Down 2, you were correct. Alright, this is powered from the other side now anyway, so that's fine. This will just make its way back. Yeah, just still need the locomotive on the other side, right? Bonk. Cool. Kind of weird. Anyway, I guess, yeah, maybe it's like... Oh, it might be off, actually. Yeah, I think it's off by 1. This is still too high. That's straight, right? That shouldn't have any issue. Just about getting this to there. Okay, cool. Two locos for 2 cars. It's just a single track, so that's why. They're going in opposite directions. How are the hassles with your apartment progressing? Hashtag off, or at off topic. Hashtag off topic. Yeah, totally fine. It's not much to report really at the moment. We got sale agreed. They've taken the for sale sign down where it says sold, so that's good. We have a solicitor who is and a mortgage broker, and the mortgage broker is like looking for my tax information. So I'm self-employed, and it makes it kind of complicated because I've got variable income. But it should be all good. I've got years and years of tax returns and everything. I've paid all my taxes, and I have to, actually, I have to pay them tomorrow, thinking about it. Or the 31st, the day after tomorrow. But that's all fine anyway, and I sent over all those documents. For some reason, she's saying like the bank needs something that she's like, oh, they need like a tax overview document. And I was like, oh, this is it here. She's like, no, that's not it. And I'm like, oh, do you know what it is? What's called? I'll find it if you can give me the form name. Like, they all have names and IDs. And she's like, oh, I'm not really sure, but here's a guide on how to get it when you like log in. So I logged in, followed the guide, couldn't find it. Or when I found it, it was the original thing that I had already sent her. And I was like, okay, it's kind of getting frustrating now. So I made a video of me. She was like, no, that's not it. But I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what it is. So what do we do? So I sent her a video of like my screen. I was like, here's what I see. I log in. There's the tax overview. There's the tax calculation. There's also some other forms. Download them all. Send them over. And she's like, no, bank's looking for something else. I'm like, all right. So that's the only little hiccup that's going on at the moment. Everything else is fine. But tomorrow I got to figure that out. I have to, I want to basically speak to either her manager, I'll pull a Karen, or like the bank, like, because she's not giving me the info. So it's like, I don't know, man. I can't, I don't know what you want. I sent her that video and she was like, yeah, I don't have access to the HMRC. And it's like, no, I do. Why are you making this so complicated? Just tell me what you need. And any other time people have looked into my finances to get mortgage approved and stuff, they've never asked for anything other than this. So it's like, are you sure you're looking at it right? I don't know. And I'm like, oh, am I wrong? It's okay if I'm wrong. I just need to know what you're looking for. That's all. Reload up. Back up in here once. Can't seem to load. Do we load from the other side, maybe? There we go. Anyways. So you're gonna loop it? No, I normally do. Whenever I'm building an actual rail network, you know, my updates, I know people haven't really seen me do trains very often, but my update 7 playthrough, I have a 2-lane railway going around the world with junctions and everything. So I do get that, but this is just literally pumping one thing into one factory, so I just need a single lane. Yeah. Yeah, it do be like that, Jay. But no, I pay my taxes totally fine. That's all good. I have just learned recently that everyone keeps telling me you are paying like way too much. Like, I'm paying the correct amount, but they're like, you don't have a pension, you don't have anything else. Like, these would all bring your tax burden down, and everyone's telling me like you got to change like what you're doing. So I got to look into that. Oh yeah, probably do need a storage buffer actually. Thanks for the heads up. I'll do that when I head back. Can you use Satisfactory Calculator once live? It's easy and fun to watch? No. I just don't like it, so I don't want to use it. I did a whole planning thing in my Milano document in the last stream. I planned the whole factory that way. It's just the way I prefer to do it. Watching me use Satisfactory Calculator would be a frustrating experience, because I'd have to learn it. And every time I've tried using it, I don't use it correctly, so I just don't like it. I'm not saying it's not good, I'm just saying I prefer doing it my way. And I like doing it that way because I can actually show it in the videos then to people. And it looks more presentable that way. So, respectively, no. Right, so we need to build up to another floor. And it should be worth noting, I always mention it to people. I say, you should look into Satisfactory Calculator for planning. Because I know everyone else does. It's all good. Nobody loses out. Yeah, I like writing on pen and paper is great. Love it. Probably better for your brain. Work things out every now and then as well. Alright, so how much are we going to use here? I guess is the question. How many machines? Machines! Let me see. So my limiting amount, or limiting factor really... Well, actually, let me just look online really quickly. Satisfactory wiki GG. Just at what else heavy modular or fuse frames are used in. They might need more than I think. Oh yeah, I have to get rid of one of those train stations, thanks. So get rid of a train station, add buffers. I will do both. Used modular frame. Alright, there we go. Adoptory? Fun fact. I'm adopted. So you need it in a pressure conversion cube. Oh yeah, well that's what we need to make the nuclear pasta. You need them in thermal propulsion rockets, 1 per minute. Holy oh right, I was gonna say you need 20 per minute to make something, but no, you just need to make a Mark III designer. You need 20. It's like, that's fine. That's it then. So there's only used in 2 things. That's easy then. So how much is made at a time? Oh, well we're using this one. I reckon at least. We do 3? Or not 3, I mean 3 machines, like 4.5 per minute? 6 maybe? 6 per minute? Let's do 6. So that'll be 4 machines as well. We have the aluminum casing. We have the gas. Why not? Sure. And this does only have 3 ingredients, right? Just to make sure of that. Oh, it's a blender. It's a blender. Don't worry, I'll do the stuff with the train. Don't you worry. Just wanted to know how much we need yet. Okay, cool. 4 of these machines. They are chunky. Casing will just have to flow down and around, I guess. We'll see if I can fit 4 here. Yeah, just about. Shame though, the way the casing... Everything else is coming from this direction, so... The heavy modular frames... Actually, where's the gas gonna come from? Gas is like right above me, isn't it? We have a big gas pipeline out there. That's it there. So one of those pipes is gonna come my way. So, because of that, I reckon, yeah, we'll face them towards the thing. I might bring them closer to the edge, though. Alright, we worry about you. Bloody scatterbrain. I know, yeah, you're right to be fair, you are right to pick up on these things. It's not like I've telegraphed at all that I'll remember any of it. So, let me move the train out of the way, because we're going to automate the train before I unload it anyway. Still have other things to deliver in here. Just get that out of the way for a second. My ADHD wouldn't allow you to put 4 there. You do 2 in overclock. Oh no, you shouldn't overclock machines like that. My OCD would tell me that that is a complete waste of power if I was to overclock these machines. But I'm building a floor for it. It's fine. I don't see anything wrong with this. No, you know, just a little bit of like contextual. Oh, watch out! Reinforced rock here, or something. Okay. Can we all relax now? A little bit? Oh my goodness. What is wrong with you? Alright, so don't worry about it. It looks great. I have a little staircase here now. Reinforced stairs. Shouldn't have done it offset. The disaster. $3 meters. I mean, why is it like that? Why did I do it that way? Oh, I guess, yeah, that's fair enough. But that would need, like... I guess the staircase will just work. It'll just be sunken into the ground a bit. One of these ones. Or actually just one of these. There we go. Wow, I can't believe I ran over that, okay. I mean, I guess it just with speed. Okay, I was gonna say, with enough speed, it's fine. Alright, that's enough. It's all pointless anyway. Right, so there we go. Brilliant, huh? It just works. Kind of. They'll never know why this was put here. Right, anyways, so these will have to merge up probably onto one line and then be fed in. You don't need a merger there. This. That'll just go down. Maybe we could bring it down this side and feed it in around to the side. That makes sense. Sorry, I'll just try to reposition this into the center for it that way. It is a little close to the thing, though. I feel like for the volume, it might be a little bit of an issue. I don't know how much we need out. Let's do 120, because it's, what is it, 75 per minute, I feel like? 75 per minute, and we need 4. 75 times 4. 300. A Mark IV belt would be enough. Bring it down this way, we'll send it into its little buddy. Alright, great. Yes, just do this for a sec. Oh yeah, that was the reason I wanted to, because the pipes are going to be at that level. So underneath, they'll come in and feed from the bottom, so it'll be like this, with little splitters down at the bottom here. They might need to be there. Yeah. Alright. Alright, so 75. It's a Mark II belt. Bonk. This is for the aluminum casing. And that can go. Alright, so that should be 300 aluminum casing per minute. Done. Set all these to be this. And this still leaves us with a decent amount of heavy modular frames, right? It's like still leaves us with 6. It's quite a generous recipe, honestly, I think, to only require gas and casing. I know casing and aluminum is a lot, but I would have assumed you'd require 2 heavy modular frames to make 1. But you only need 1 to 1, so that's okay. Raise the pipes. I don't like raising pipes because they might need pumps or something, so... I mean, oh, it's gas, though, actually. Do gas ever need pumps? No, right? I didn't think of that. I could have worked that way then, too. Well, I was just going to keep the gas pipe at the exact level that this needed. So just like here, for instance, I'll just get rid of this in a second, but... we can lay that out now as well, I suppose. Going to be a bit further back. Yeah, gas. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot. Gas doesn't need lift? I don't think so. I think that's its superpower. Might need a Mark II pipe actually, so how much is it? It's gonna be 37.5 gas. 37.5 times 4. 150. Alright. Oh, it's not lined. Anyway, yeah, I'm not sure exactly where this is going to come in, but I'll just aim it this way, knowing that it's probably going to do that. Alright, almost there. Almost. I still have to bring the gas pipeline here. It will take a while, but... let's get these guys hooked up to power. I guess the easiest way, again, is just to use my little metal beam above the machines. Their power line thing is there. I could go to 16 maybe. Straight across 40. Gas can just vibe on through. It just vibes. No problems. All gases are lighter than air in Satisfactory, so they rise by themselves. Interesting. Would have been amazing to know months ago, like planning all these pumps. That's so funny. I wonder if you look at a pump on a pipe that has gas in it, does it tell you, you know, when you select the pump, like you look at it, I wonder is it telling you how much headlift you're getting in it, or if it says like nothing because it's not getting anything, you know? Well, start off. Did I move that further out of the way? Yep. Alright, cool. This train needs a name as well, doesn't it? Okay. Said I wasn't going to use 3Fs, but I've done it. Right, so fused frame factory casing import. Maybe I'll do casing. It can't fit it. Yeah, so just casing then, it's fine. Oh yeah, we boosted our own power. I forgot about that. The augmenter is active. Oh no, we spotted this in the last stream as well, that there is somewhere a dip in power every now and then. That's so annoying. Just seeing that. We've ruled out 2 factories because in the last stream went around to each of them to try and find where it was. So it's not this one and it's not this one. So it's got to be either this one. Actually, I think we checked that one as well and it wasn't that one either. I think it's got to be the one over here because there's such a weird number on it. I think it's to do with the blenders and the plastic and everything. The heavy oil certainly is the one that most prone to going wrong, so that would kind of make sense. But yeah. I'm not going to go off and look at that though now. But definitely have to, because it bothers the hell out of me. Oh, we got the Northern Lights. Love it. Make sure I selected them all. It's good. All good. Are we just full up on fuse frames? Yep. This place stalled because it's full for the most part. Right. Where do we want to send this stuff? This way, probably. Cool. Let's leave it there for a moment. Alright, so let's go back and fix the problem with the... What else did I have to do? Set these to unload. That's done now. Mark that off the list. Change the thing here. The other side is connected as well, right? Did I do anything? Was there anything missing on the other side? We'll drive it one last time and load up manually, but I think that was it. Part of me is saying that there's one thing I'm missing. The SA302 form is what I gave them. And it's okay. You're okay to be behind. But yeah, so I gave them the tax calculation and then the SA302 forms. But they're saying, here's the words specifically that the mortgage broker has told me that the bank is looking for. She said, they're looking for your tax overview document. I'm like, what's it called? If anyone knows what it's called, that'd be helpful, because then I could just go Google it and get it. And she sent me a HMRC guide to go through the website and find it. I went through the website and it gave me 2 things. A tax calculation form and then the SA302. Heavy modular frames into the blenders. Oh, the storage buffers, that was it. Yeah. But thanks, so yeah, I wouldn't have forgotten that one. That obviously has to be done anyway. Although you never know, with me I guess, but yeah, thanks. Buffers is what I forgot. I forgot buffers actually on both sides, didn't I really? Or do you only need it on the outgoing? I'll just build one here. Or... yeah, I'll build one here. Such a disastrous setup. Right. Hopefully this somewhat should show the differences that go between the planning in my videos and what I do on streams. If I just wing it, this is what we get, you know, just a mess. Why isn't this lining up? Bonk. One buffer should be okay. I don't think it would fill. This train gonna need to be connected by something else or just be its own thing. It's just its own thing. That's why it's a single track. Right. Timetable. Go here first. Then go there. $15 seconds? I don't know. Fine. Whatever. I was gonna say we could make it wait until it's full, but why bother? It'll all work itself out anyway. Go here, then you go back, and that's it. Turn on self-driving. See you later. I am no longer driving it. Because it's doing casing, we can make it chrome. Whew. In is where you want it, but always build them out for good measure. Yeah, I feel like you do normally want buffers on both ends. Because it stops belts either way, right? So... Although, it depends. If you're putting... If the belt speed coming out is faster than what your target is anyway, then you're okay. If you were trying to get 480 out of the train station, you only had a 480 belt on it, you'd need a buffer on the out. Wow. Oh my god, look at this game. That was like the perfect synergy of like all these random beautiful things happening at the same time. Then I ruined it. Anyway, an EP64. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they didn't say. You're self-employed, so probably not that one. Kind of off-topic question here, but have you ever had to deal with recording gameplay with HDR enabled in Windows? I haven't, because I don't use HDR. I'm not very smart. I don't really know much about like those more advanced video technologies that have come out in the last few years. Like I know about OLED screens. That's like about it. I only know OLED because I had a PlayStation Vita, and that was an OLED screen. And I was like, oh yeah, cool. But now it's all like... People are talking about like certain hertz on your HDMI, I think, and stuff. At least the podcasts I listen to, they're like, oh, you know, I've got like the best TV setup and it uses the special HDMI cable. And I know like the special HDMI cables are like a joke for a lot of people, or a scam. But this is one where it's like, oh no, like it has a certain gigahertz that has to match your TV, otherwise you get like a blurry picture or something. And then yeah, people talk about HDR support. Alright, it's because I wasn't looking at it and messed that up a bit. Anyway, long story short, no, I don't know. I don't know much about it. My TV's 8 years old. It's a 4K TV, but it's just a standard TV. I have two pretty good monitors here. They're both curved actually, which is a bit unusual. And then I've got a third monitor, which is an old one I had. That's a 1080p monitor. The two in front of me are 1440p monitors. Asus something, BG something, I don't know. But they're 165 hertz. I could find barely any games that run at 165 FPS, so I tend to just put it down to 144 hertz. But I've never dealt with any of the extra stuff. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, let's make a buffer just along here somewhere. And what's 2 feet? Let's just make a Mark 5. It's an overkill, but it should be fine. Alright, good. So, just one more component, and it's the gas. And we have the pipeline, the extractor already in place. You just need to bring the pipeline up here. Let's do it. Follow along this tract here. Go that way. Move straight down the line this way. Go somewhere like there. Go all the way down. Let's go straight out from here. I think I can't remember exactly. That's just the pipeline over there. I'm just trying to think. I guess I'm following the world grid. I don't know why, but I'm gonna keep crisscrossing until I get to it. No, that can look a bit weird. Shame, because we're like at such a diagonal angle from it. But there we go. This will do it. Can this be removed? Now, I need 150 gas. That's 300. There is one that's 150. Oh, I think I'm using it already, though. Yeah. We needed 450, so I'm already using the 150. Not that it's a big deal, but I would just rather use the right amount if I could. So there's 300 here. So I went through all this effort of building 4 pipelines, which is going to take one away right now. I guess we'll keep that there, but we'll just branch this off. Yeah. Okay. Did you overclock the pressurizer? Yeah. Not that we need it. It's quite a waste of power right now, doing my best. Because we only use one of these lines. So I'm using 450 out of the 1950. One, two. Right. We go a bit quicker. I keep forgetting how short the turns are. Oh my god, almost there. That's actually so much nicer to play now. Yeah, the nice sunset and the graphics that we're having is really nice. Very atmospheric. Right, so stop here for a sec. I fly here? Yes. Let's go. Oh my god. Six per minute? Come on. I don't see how you were streaming and I was watching one of your old streams. How was your trip to Ireland, Bean, by the way? Thanks for people for asking that, by the way. Yeah, it was good. It was very short. It's just 2 days. I just went over to see family and then do a bank transfer thing. I was going for the bank transfer, honestly, because I'm purchasing an apartment, so just getting all my money out of my Irish account. Everything's over in my English one now. Alright, we're at 40. I guess it'll just slowly fill up then. You paint it. But yeah, no, it's nice. You know, my niece, I'm a godfather now. My brother had a child, his fiance, a year ago, and it's like the first kind of child in both of our families, like her family and my family, my brother's family. So it's kind of cool, like first granddaughter, and I'm the godfather, and she just turned 1. I don't see her very often because I'll see him over here. But it's nice to see her coming along, developing, recognizing people and stuff, and laughing and smiling and eating like lots of different food and funny. Yeah, the original plan was to kind of move back to Ireland and maybe think about having kids ourselves so that they could be the same rough age as her, but now it's like, that's not going to happen. Not that it's a real bad thing or anything. But that was kind of what we were initially envisioning, but it just seems impossible for me to be able to get a property at the moment in Ireland. You have to live there for 6 months. Otherwise, you're subject to like holiday home tax rates, or interest rates, because I pay my taxes here. Which is such a shame. Because my landlord told me, like, oh, you have to move out in 4 months, which was actually a good amount of time to give us and everything. But it meant that, like, if I had known that, I would have left 6 months before. I could have maybe rented for 6 months or something, or just figured something out. But it wasn't to be. Real shame. So we're locked in for another couple of years here. I really like this place, though. I'm super happy with it, so it's not really a problem. I mean, if I could have my way, I'd have my family move here, to be honest. So I kind of prefer it here. But yeah, we just didn't intend on getting an apartment at all. That's why it just became very sudden and very last minute. I didn't have anything prepped or planned for doing that. Content-wise, video-wise, it just, oh, suddenly, like, I'm now in and out of, like, brokers and dealers and going to Ireland and stuff, so it disrupted the schedule a bit, but alright, final things, just to connect this up. So this comes out here, and we need to create connections to go in. Yeah. I think it has to go over the pipe. Just go straight in this way, first one. That has to feed down the line. I might have screwed myself here with this a little bit. I suppose actually if we were at that height, it might be best. Yeah. Not that this one really needs to change, but I'll just do it anyway. Anyway, so yeah. Have you looked at, I'm just doing that now. Is that it? All 4. So this needs an overflow thing. Splitter. I did that wrong, did I? I must have. I think how do I plug this in properly? So need a merger. And then I need a pole. I think that does it. Yeah. All right, there we go. And that just connects down the line. That should finally be it. That is fused frames done. That is 6 fused frames per minute. Once these move out, and then we'll let that overflow circle around and go into our awesome sink over there when it gets full. And it can join the fused frames or something going into the awesome sink. Alright, some of them already... I don't even know how they could overflow with just a Mark 1 belt going in and out. No way that one stopped. Looks a bit weird. I just get rid of that pole now. Alright, we're blending. The gas has arrived, I guess. Oh, there we go. First fuse frame is rolled out. Gas is full. Love to see it. Not so much on that one, but that's okay. It's filling. Nice. There we go. Ooh, god damn. It is so warm in here. Just open a window real quick. Even finish my one beer. Nice catching one of your streams. Appreciate the content, dude. Thank you. Sorry that I don't know. I always apologize. I guess it's just me. I get very off topic, and then when I'm really focused, I don't even read my chat. I sometimes feel like I shouldn't read it because I'll just get distracted. Dimensional storage is a game changer, yeah. I didn't see you were streaming. I was watching one of your old streams. I read that already. How's your trip to Ireland? Thank you for asking. I obviously answered it. It'll take time to fill up. In this day and age, having to be at the bank in person has its benefits. I can't really think of any, to be honest. I mean, I've been over here for 8 years. There's loads of good security with... I'm with Halifax, and they're great. Lots of different checks and things, but I went into them recently, and I had to do something, maybe 6 months ago. And they were just like, you got to do it online. Like, well, oh, but I'm here now. Can we not, like... I think it was to do with getting a mortgage or something, or going through the steps needed. And they're like, no, you get mortgage approved online. Just go through the website, blah, blah. And it's like, this place is just like a... I don't even know what anyone does here now. It's just an office where people tell you how to use the thing, go online, basically. Like, okay. Yeah, I'm already putting heavy modular frames into the dimensional depot. I'm not doing that for the fuse frame, so I'll probably do that, seeing as it's used in the build gun. So I still need to do that. At the moment, these aren't going anywhere. They're just ending here. So we'll do something with them now. So what could we do? If we sent it out this way, and we have a container here with a dimensional depot on top, and then we rotate that around, it might be best to go out the other way, actually, thinking about it, so I'll just rotate these. Right, so just hook these back up together. No big deal. And we loop around. I could have gone out that way, I guess, but anyway, just go out here. Loop around and go into a storage container. An overflow. Yeah, we need to go into an overflow splitter, like here. Maybe just a bit further back to clear the stairs. Here, we'll have a container. Depot on top. We'll continue on as overflow eventually, and join its whoops. Join its heavy modular frame buddy somewhere down there. Really a bit tightly packed, but whatever. Yeah, does that let me do that? It does, actually. It's above the machine, basically. I wanted to join it into a merger somewhere here. Okay. Oh. How do I get over there without hitting into any of the belts? Like, I could go down this line. The container's kind of in the way. I could move the buffer over there, I guess. There's nothing in... Oh, there is actually stuff in here. Oh yeah, we are overproducing quite a bit. We're sending more in here than we need to. Here instead, then. We create a dismantle crate. Deal with that in a moment. Clean that up in just one sec. Right. I reversed it, but I guess it was already reversed. But okay, that's that taken care of. Let's get rid of the dismantle crates. Some of this crap up. Won't be able to carry much of it in one go. Oh wow, actually I could. I guess I could have put it back in there thinking about it. Oh well. But then there's still one more. Alright, I'm properly actually done now. Although, could we do thermal propulsion rockets yet? No, we can only now do... Yeah, we're still missing the turbo motors. So that's the next thing. For tomorrow, we're going to start a turbo motor factory. Never made one of those before. I had made fused modular frames before, but never cooling systems. So turbo motors will be well and truly completely new. It requires, the thing I'm short on in terms of my list of overall ingredients would be motors, surprisingly. So we have radio control units, we have cooling systems now, but we need more rubber and we need more motors to be able to just make even a small amount. We only need a small amount, it's like 3 per minute or something, and that will be enough. That's the next thing. That'll be tomorrow's stream, but at least this place is now done. I might mark it as here. Use frames. 3. And this can have that kind of just standard fix it. Well, we could use the orange color here. Painter is not connected to the line. Ooh, good call. I totally missed it. Does that help you? No? You're just stuck on the concrete? Oh. There you go. Good thing we had a buffer, eh? Our machines never stopped, despite that. Check out the ray tracing. Pretty cool. So, they are. How many turbo motors do I have? I have 43. I could manually make a little bit of, well, not well, kind of, you know, by feeding it manually with thermal propulsion rockets. I have every component now. So, yeah, I guess I would have just used... Actually, thinking about it, yeah, we could even try and not automate it. That would suck, but we should do it, of course. But I could just manually make the motors, the turbo motors I need. Because we have all of these components. I just don't have the quantity needed to automate it. I only make like 4 motors per minute or something like that left over after other uses. So it's like, oh, I have all of this in my inventory right now. We just bang them out. But it would take quite a while to make 250 fused frames. There we go. Pretty happy with this place. Let's diagnose some issues before we wrap it up. Stator factories next. Yeah, I need the stator factory to do nuclear power. Because I need electromagnetic control rods. I've actually got enough power to continue for a little while. Like... At the moment, I've got about 8,000 power, maybe 9. Really, safely, I've got 5,000 power, so not much. But non-safely, I've got like, yeah, 9,000, so it's still, that's plenty for a motor factory. So I did the motor factory first, then it would be the electromagnetic control rod factory. These are being overproduced as well. Just trying to think, where else can I send in overflow? Is this an overflow? That's a smart splitter, but we never sent the other part out. I just knew it was going to happen, so that's not done. Overflow out the right. Well, that's not happening anymore. Or is it? Just trying to think where I can aim this. It needs to go there. Okay. Should have copied those settings. I think it's just the same as this anyway. So Mark 4 goes in there, and then we need a Mark 3 go here. And that just joins back over in this direction. What's that? Right, so now you can go there. Now you can overflow out and join your little friend. It's so messy, but it should work, I think. How much did we have left over iron? That was consuming everything, but we increased it to 80. So there's only 13 or 14 iron left over, so Mark 1 belt's totally fine. So that just allows these machines to keep running. I want everything to keep running. These are also backed up. What's your problem? Just not getting out in time. Just delete some of that. Or just take it. 3 per minute. It's 10... What is it? In total, it is doing 30 per minute that are rolling into these machines. So let's see. You're at 100%, 100... 100 and 100. So they're all running at 100%, and they take 7.5 each, so that's 30 per minute. So yeah, I guess they're just a bit backed up. Because we did leave everything on for quite a while, so I have to just drain them. Or give them an overflow, but that's fine. Do this. Once we drain them once, they'll never need it again. That should keep everything moving. Throw some of those fuse frames in there. Make you some tickets. Nuclear power is such a fun hassle. Yeah, that's going to be really fun. That won't be till next week, though, I guess. So tomorrow will be Motor Factory. A little bit boring. Not boring, but it's just like, oh, okay, you know, motors. Something else to think about. And then we just bring them all together. We should be doing the Thermal Propulsion Rockets. Then we need to do the nuclear past step. But unfortunately, that is going to take way more power than I have. So at that point, it seems like nuclear power is the thing to do. Now I'll probably just build a modest plant. I've never looked into it before. We're just going to do it live. But I think just one uranium node. See how we can handle that. It might be necessary to make the automate these things, right? The iodine infused filters, because we don't automate them. I do have an abundance of quick wire and I have an abundance of casing now, so we could easily just splinter off a little bit of that. Get that going. Maybe even here, thinking about it, because there's Caterium right here. And we're delivering in the casing. So, yeah, then I'll be protected for a bit. Just to be safe. Don't know if I automate these. Can't remember. Do I? Let's see. I do. That's good then. I think that's done at like a weapons factory or something. Filtration. It's done at the filtration place. That's where we make filters. Interesting. Casing is here. Filters are here. You could drive along that riverbed, drop them off or something. Maybe there. You could do the, because then you'd have the casing, then you can make the things. We're doing it live? Yeah, we're just going to do it live. I'll do some prep and planning just to have a look at it, because I've never looked at it. I don't even know what's involved. I've just known from people telling me, oh, radiation gets left on the map. You can't dispose of waste, although I think later in the game you can use it into something else. But for us, we probably can't dispose of it right now. I don't know. So yeah, it'll be a fun one for sure. I've never even built one of these. $2,500 megawatts. That sounds good though. You need a lot of water. Waste output. Fuel. What's the fuel? Plutonium fuel rods or uranium fuel rods. I assume we'd have to use the one that burns worse, right? First, plutonium. So we have these heat sinks. Just made heat sinks, didn't we? I have 9 left over per minute. Okay. 0.25 per minute is what this would make. So I can make at least 0.75 per minute. At least. So that's pretty good, right? That means we can have like 5 of these or more. 7. Uranium first into plutonium. Oh, really? I didn't even look at that recipe there. Oh yeah, plutonium cells. Okay, so plutonium cells come from plutonium pellets. Plutonium pellets come from waste and non-fissile uranium. I've never seen any of this. I didn't even know this shit was in the game. Uranium waste, silicon, nitric acid, and sulfuric acid is what you need there. Uranium waste. Why do I keep going into the same thing? You need uranium waste to make it. What? Oh, it's just used in. You don't. Yeah, I see. It's a byproduct. Got it. So the first, it's called uranium fuel rods. Okay. This is where we start. 50 encased uranium cells. And you make 0.4 per minute. What's it made in? Actually? Manufacturer. Okay. There we go. Uranium plus concrete plus sulfuric acid. Doesn't sound too hard. I'm not scared. Easy. So we get some a little bit of uranium. Mix it with some sulfuric acid, which is what, water and sulfur or something. Yeah, no problem there. In a blender. The uranium simple? That's fine by me then. I didn't say we're gonna go all the way to whatever the full recyclable version of it, but maybe, I don't know. I want to beat the game. I just need more power, and this seems like the way to do it. Okay, so you get 2,000 sulfuric acid. Oh, sorry, 10 per minute. What can you do with that? I'll look at it in a second. 5 encased uraniums. Actually, let's look at that then. This is used in packaging it. Okay, you turn the waste into something else using some of that. Can you do anything with this? I guess just package it and sink it if you don't want it, right? Sulfuric acid. Doesn't it make batteries or something? Oh yeah. Make batteries with it. I'm not making more aluminum. Just get out of here with that. So yeah, just sink it. Don't want that stuff. That's fine. Just sink the acid. Dump it into the ocean. You should be able to do that. That'd be cool. Just a pipeline, like a drain pipeline. Runoff valve. So you make the uranium cells, presumably. They're used in making rods. So you need the rods combined with some encased beams to make the fuel rods. The fuel rods go in there. They get you power. They burn at 0.2 per minute. Oh yeah, I looked at that wrong, didn't I? So obviously, yeah, they consume higher. That's fine. Generates your power. You get some waste back. What do you do with the waste then? I know you can handle it now, but if you don't handle it, what do you do with it? You just throw it in a container somewhere far away. Is that the idea? Because that's what I'm doing. I'm not like going down the route of then trying to turn it into plutonium. Yeah. Use diluted fuel and nitro rocket fuel or whatever it's called. We already used diluted fuel. Okay, so if you were to go that other route, then you gotta make plutonium cells. Plutonium pellets. Pellets come from the fissile uranium, which takes in some... So you recycle some of the sulfuric acid back in. Interesting. And then there's this new stuff, right? Nitric acid. Dude, that's going to be super fun for the video series, because I'm going to use all of that. But, not in this. Not in the stream world. This is just a do anything to win. Do anything to survive. But obviously do play around a bit, you know? Want to use this. This is a cool looking building. So I reckon, yeah, we get like 5 of these going. That'd be great. Not that much, but in the grand scheme of things, but it'll be enough to carry us to the end, I think. Cool. Well, anyway, that's not till next week, but tomorrow, Motor Factory. That'll get me to that point. If you get... Oh, right. You get plutonium waste and the cycle begins. What? How do you get rid of plutonium waste? Can I even see waste? Yeah, I can't see plutonium waste yet, but I can see this. So it's used in either making non-fissile uranium or the pellets. Oh, right. Quite complicated, yeah. Alright. Here goes the train. I was going to go back to base. I guess there's nothing really there for me, though. I was just going to check the hub, but we've completed the... Yeah, I can't see any further. We just have to unlock more tiers. And the only way we can do that is by completing this phase. So that's it. Well, anyway. We've got green lights across the board. Oh, no we don't. These might be full as well. Yeah. They should be just what we need also. But I think maybe emptying them out might help. Now that everything's running. Let's just throw these in a bin. I'll just go from top to bottom with this factory, and then that's going to be it for me today, okay? So just be really quick about it. Switch to this, 'cause it's easier. Fly around, I find. But yeah, tomorrow I'll have a bit more of a plan then for the Motor Factory, and it'll be at 3 p.m. UK time. So currently it is like 10 p.m. Something like that anyway. Is it 11? Right, so this is my heavy modular frame slash... Well, it's a fused frame factory ultimately, isn't it? That was a yellow light a second ago. It might have just been the level of detail thing, because... Oh no. Heard that. Right, anyways, so to start us off, we've got water down here. The left water is for the concrete, the right is for all of the iron. 3 pipelines come up. We have a little section here for wet concrete, so just 4 of them currently operating. That's going to be, if we just keep this open as well at the same time. Maybe I'll just move this over here so I can see it. Yeah, so 405 limestone into 4 refineries. We put out split, so it's like 250 concrete or something like that. 187 of which goes into the encased industrial beam assemblers, and 82 of which goes straight into the heavy modular frames. So we don't see this concrete for a little while later. The rest of the water combines with the 2 iron nodes here. Pretty simple. We've got 32 refineries in total across 2 groups of 8. 4 sections of 8, 2 groups of 16. Yeah, so all those refineries basically make over 2,000 iron ingots per minute. We have them on 4 belts of 520. That's what we produce here. Those belts all then merge up together. The 4 belts travel along. We have the concrete rolling on top. We go into the next part of the factory where that's refinement. This would be construction. So we break it down so that each of the 4 belts of 520, we snap 60 off of them and send them onto their own belt of 240. But we'll catch up to that in a moment. Each belt of the resulting 460 per minute then goes into 5 constructors each. They're quite thirsty. They take 92 per minute. So, got 4 of them there, 1 for each line, and they're putting out 460... Oh, that's quite a coincidence, actually, in some ways. They put out 460 steel pipe. It's just interesting because it's 1 line of 460. But all told, it's 460, so I guess it's like it puts out a quarter of what it takes in. Anyway, all those steel pipe then merge up together. We've got several overflow systems, but before we get to that, we've got the constructors here. The remaining 240 ingots, they split evenly here. So 120 goes down to the bottom row and splits again. Sorry. Yeah, 120 goes down here, splits. 60 goes into these machines and 60 goes into those. What's your problem? Full? Wouldn't be full. Especially since they've got an overflow. I'll have to look into that. I'll look into it now. Otherwise I'll forget. It's Mark II. How could you possibly be full? $216. What belt is this? More than enough. I don't know how you could get backed up. Is this too slow? That's why. It's because when this did get backed up, that got backed up. So yeah, that's fine. Alright, fair enough. It'll drain. It'll just take a little while. At least I caught it. Anyways, right, so the 240 iron here breaks. So 120 goes over into those little constructors. The other 120 splits into 60 and 60. So it's 120 in these 10 machines here. They're making wire. The wire is 202.5 per minute rolling this way. So we're making more than we need. We actually only need 133. So the rest of it's going into an awesome sink for now. The other bit of it is going into these assemblers to make reinforced iron plates. I'm trying to empty these machines out now that everything should remain free-flowing, and we can check back at it later if it stops. I'll dump this in the assembler, or the awesome sink at the end. Right, anyways, yeah, so that's doing the iron plates. No big deal there. There's 80. We're kind of then at the level of the overflow again, right? So all of the steel pipe comes together in one belt, goes into an overflow splitter. It'll only overflow. It should never overflow, really, now. We just had that in place at first. So, in theory, we're using all of the pipe. We shouldn't have any left over. We use 460 in total. So, we send some in here. When that line gets backed up, it goes up here into the heavy modular frames. These are the encased industrial beams, and these are the modular frames. These are the reinforced iron plates. They're taking in iron plates and wire. Reinforced iron plates roll down here. They mix with some of the steel pipe. This is a kind of a decent little setup, I think, for not having to worry, like using the alternate recipe for heavy modular frames. Like, we just used iron, and we got like little bits of copper. We got steel out of all of it. We didn't need any coal. We didn't need any copper. That was quite nice that everything does just become like a metal iron kind of thing at some point. An iron kind of refinement. Trying to get back to it. I need to stop taking things out of them though, because it'll be unfair. Anyways, so yeah, so in this row here of modular frames, we're making 30 per minute. So 30 per minute roll down, and they go to these manufacturers. The encased industrial beams, they roll down and go to the manufacturers as well. And so does the concrete from the beginning. Concrete from the beginning goes to both. That has to split here. It prioritizes the bottom tier first and then overflows into the higher tier. Just the way to do it. Otherwise, you won't have enough of the other component that you needed. Can you make stators here with the leftover iron? Maybe. At the moment I'm making... Yeah, we have some additional wire. I think the amount of stators I need is way too high. I'll look into it tomorrow. But I'm going to write down after this stream everything this factory makes and all the amounts it has left over, and then I'll know. Okay, can we do anything with that? Because the stators that I want anyway, ideally they'd be down here, because this is where the electronics is, and this is where... Oh, that's something I forgot to do today. I was actually building a skyport, or a drone port. Anyway. I make a bunch of high-speed connectors. The high-speed connectors combined with the stators, I think, makes the electromagnetic control rods, so that's what I kind of need to combine up. So. Anyway, the last thing was just these heavy modular frame manufacturers. They throw out their heavy modular frames. They roll around into all of these blenders. All of the blenders are actually full right now. And they only hold 60. Why does it say 60? Oh, 50. And the machine costs 10. I see. Forgot they're not 100 stacks, just 50. So yeah, we currently make 11.248 heavy modular frames. They are all running at 100%. That's good. The only machines that are stop starting is below this, which is a fine problem to have, as long as these don't have an issue. But I'd rather they all run at 100, obviously. So yeah, 11.248. Then we remove 6 of them. So 11.248 minus 6, so we're left with 5.248. And what we get out of it at the end then is 6 fused modular frames at the cost of 300 aluminum casing. And for the moment, until this thing gets totally full, we have them going into the dimensional depot, and then they'll roll and join into the awesome sink later. So that's it. I like this place. This is a fun build. Enjoy doing it. Catching our little errors all along the way, of course. Some of this stuff now that I don't want anymore is all in my dimensional depots anyway. And then I have to go visit the biofuel factory again soon. Dump some of that stuff. I've got a huge container in the center of the map actually just full of logs somewhere in the pink forest. I think it was when we cleared the bamboo, pink bamboo, for bauxite extraction. There's a big bamboo forest here. Cleared just a bit of it, and it gave us like, I remember one chainsaw pull was like, it was like 7,000 wood. Like, oh, okay. Just completely like annihilated my inventory. But yeah. The streams are a different playthrough than the video playthrough. Yeah, the video playthrough will be continuing this weekend. I was just away for a little bit. But yep, different playthrough, so don't worry about it. This is just if you want a lazy, non-edited, long-form version of the game. And I'm further than I've ever been, so it's great practice. Like, I've never done nuclear, and we're going to do that next week. So then by the time I get to it in the videos, hopefully I've learned all the mistakes. Hopefully, by that point. Alright, well anyway, that's going to be it. I really just want to say also just an extended thanks for people being so generous, both with their time and also with their support, like on the stream itself. There was a crazy amount. I didn't expect it. I just kind of thought I shouldn't miss the day if I could avoid it. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And all the people keeping track of the apartment purchase and me going to Ireland. It's quite nice that people actually care. Or listen, at the very least. In tier 9, before 1.0, you had to live with the waste. Yeah, no, I knew about that. The only thing I know about nuclear is having skim-read Reddit threads about it, you know. Never looked into actually making it, but I always saw people talking about the problems with it. Anyway, right, so that's it. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. UK time. Have a good evening, good rest of your evening, good rest of your week if I don't see you. And hopefully videos will be back soon, ASAP. Alright, that is going to be it for me tomorrow. The streams stay onto YouTube. I don't upload them separately. The saves do go onto the Google Drive. So after this, I'll make sure I upload that too. Alright, bye-bye.